Welcome to the Overcomer Success Summit. Here's what's happening at Joy Morgan Motivates. Are you tired of keeping your story hidden, knowing deep down it has the power to inspire and change lives? It's time to unleash the brilliance within you with Write It, Tell It, Sell It, the definitive guide to transforming your narrative into a profitable venture. Authored by the esteemed Dr. Joy Morgan, this book is more than just a collection of pages. It's your ticket to success in the world of storytelling and entrepreneurship. But wait, there's more. Elevate your journey by joining us for the Write It, Tell It, Sell It Intensive, an immersive event designed to propel you toward your goals. With VIP access, you'll unlock a treasure trove of exclusive benefits, including access to the intensive replays from the Overcomer Success Summit, the I Want to Write a Book Now What Masterclass, and Dr. Joy Morgan's Cash Method 6-Figure Success Worksheet. And mark your calendars for the Start That Book Day Retreat and Workshop for Aspiring Authors on June 1st from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Join us for a day filled with transformative experiences, on-site training and coaching, delectable lunch, accountability sessions to keep you on track, and the opportunity to craft your book outline. You'll walk away with 1,000 words written and the confidence to continue your journey with purpose. Now is your time to shine and make your mark on the world. Don't let fear hold you back. Seize this opportunity to turn your dreams into reality. Visit Joy Morgan Motivates today for more information. Visit joymorganmotivates.com today for more information and take the first step toward unlocking your full potential. Write it, tell it, sell it. Your story, your success begins now. Thank you for tuning in today at the Overcomer Success Summit.
Hey everybody, I'm so excited to be with you today. The Overcomer Success Summit. First, I want to thank you and give honor to Dr. Joy Morgan for her invitation. Matter of fact, for her putting all this together into a forum where we can come together, learn from each other, grow, and really birth our dreams. And today, I'm excited to talk to you today about overcoming in your life consistently. That means not just once or twice, but consistently in whatever you're being challenged to do. So I love definitions. I love what the words mean to us because I really feel like it applies, it's relevant. But overcomer, if you write that down, to be an overcomer is one who succeeds in dealing with or gaining control, watch this, of some problem or difficulty. That means in business, if whatever you're about to start or in process right now, or you're in a business at this moment, but in life, I'm telling you, man, we all know we've all had setbacks, we've all had difficulties, we've all had issues we've had to work through. But not to stop. You can't stop in the middle of a difficulty, in the middle of an issue. You got to keep going. To be an overcomer, you got to succeed in dealing with the problem, man. And to do that, that's in every area of our life, right? It's in our health, it's in our finances, it's in relationships. Matter of fact, in the world we live in, we know it's in stress, anxiety, all those things that are happening in us, in our life. I've been, in my part of life, I've been in a calling of ministry for 37 years. And there's some things I want to just share with you today that we can learn together about how we can continue to keep overcoming in life to be successful in whatever we put our hands to, our minds to, and our energy to. So I found out in all that length of time of being in a ministry, leading a church, been married for 45 years, come up May 11th, be 45 years. So I've learned some things about the power. Here's the first thing. To develop grit. Write that down. You've got to learn to develop grit. I believe that grit is a force and a place in our life where we can develop it. I don't think we were born with it. I think we develop it by going through life and going through challenges and facing setbacks, really, that cause you to have a comeback. The word grit is, watch this, a passion and perseverance toward a long-term goal. I'm going to say that again. Write that down. Grit is a passion and a perseverance towards a long-term goal. We're not in the short game in life, man. We're not in the short game of trying to build a successful career, a successful marriage, a successful business, whatever you're in. It's a long-term goal. So to have that, we got to develop a passion and perseverance in times of difficulty, when things are not going right, when things get hard. And doing this for the last 37 years of my life, going from 3 different locations going through 2 major building projects, I found out something, that if you don't quit, you're going to win. If you don't quit, you're going to win. Isn't that good? That means you got to get up every day, take one step in front of the other, and keep battling through difficulties, obstacles. That's going to happen. One thing I learned also about grit that I know you're facing and can learn also is that grit is something that you develop over time. It doesn't happen overnight, man. It doesn't happen right away. Something you develop over time. Now, in the length of time that you go through a business and building something, there's going to be days where you don't feel like it. There's going to be days where you feel like you're discouraged, you feel like quitting. But also, notice the analogy of this is that you can't get pure gold out of something until you put it in the fire. I was thinking about life, thinking about the things we have faced in the last several years. What it shows us who we are. And so I'm going to encourage you today, wherever you are in this point of your life, this point of your journey, the challenges and the ability to stay with a project, to stay with a goal over a long term, it's going to reveal who you are. And I found out and still finding out who I am going through these difficulties of the past, what I've learned, and it helps me into my future. It helps me into where I'm going now. So I just want to encourage you, you're going to find out who you are when you're going through battles, when you're going through difficulties. You're going to find out your strengths and your weaknesses. That's so important. I found that out. It's so important. You got to know your strengths. You got to know what you're strong in. You got to know what areas that you are being able to tackle in strengths. But also, when you're developing grit, you discover what your weaknesses are. We all have weaknesses. I know we all want to present this image sometime, on social media and all the things we're going through, that we don't have any weaknesses, but everybody has weaknesses. Don't let anybody fool you. We all have weaknesses, areas of our life where the fire is going to expose what we're weak in. And when that happens, that's a good thing, man, because then you're able, watch this, to, in the middle of a fight, you're able to not see the whole picture sometime, but when you're in the middle of a battle, middle of a struggle, you find out where you're strong at, find out where you're weak at, but then that time is when you start growing. That time you start developing, let me work on this, or let me find people around me that can complement my weaknesses and help me in my difficulties, because you can't do this alone. I know you know that. You can't do this alone. You can't reach your dreams alone. You can't go through and tackle your goals all by yourself. You got to have the right people. So developing grit, having that passion, that perseverance that keeps you reaching toward a long-term goal. That's the key, man, of overcoming anything in life to make you successful. And to do that, discover who you are. Know that the fire is not going to destroy you. It's going to reveal the strengths and weaknesses. Set the right people around you, all right? And when you do that, I discovered it's going to help you keep going. Everybody needs encouragement. Everybody needs support. I found out in Proverbs that it says a man can fall 7 times and rise again. Think about that. That means we're going to fail in life. We're going to fail in what we're trying to do at times, but we don't stay down, right? A champion gets hit, he gets knocked down in boxing, but he gets back up. And I want to encourage you today, though there might be failures, might be setbacks, but to overcome, you got to get back up. You got to get back in the fight, all right? Fall 7 times, but get back up 8. That's a good one. I like that. All right, the next thing I found out to encourage you about how to be an overcomer and to be successful in what you're trying to do. Not only develop grit, but you've got to set the standard. I've learned this, man. You can't let other people set the standard for you. Matter of fact, we live in such a world, I feel like today, that is so mediocre. People are mediocre, to say, well, just anything goes, or that's good enough. But when you set the standard, it'll immediately set you above everybody else. I promise you, man. You set the standard for your own life. The word standard means to establish a level of excellence. Watch this, establish a level of excellence in whatever activity or job you're performing. You set the standard of excellence. Now, I know you have too, I discovered excellence is not having the best of everything all the time. Excellence is doing the best with what you have. That's the form of developing that standard in your life. I'm going to take what I have. We started this ministry I'm involved in, we started in a trailer and a double wide trailer, but yet we set the standard of excellence by making it the best, the cleanest, the most appealing we could in the community. And from there, it just keeps growing. So I don't know where you're starting at. And let me just interject this. Don't let your current location and don't let your lack of resources discourage you to where you don't want to keep going. Take what you have, make it the standard of best, excellence, and do the best you have with what you got, all right? When you do that, I promise you, man, that standard is gonna spill out into every area of your life. I found out setting the standard when nobody else can do it for you, it starts with you. It starts with you setting the standard about your time management, setting your standard about your health. Everybody needs to improve their health, setting your standard in your development of growth. You set the standard, man, in how you handle your money, how you budget your money. And those things start developing in the whole area of your life. Everything starts getting more complete, and now you're setting the standard. One thing, man, I've been seeing for the last month that's really been on me, people have no standard in their business, I'm seeing, of a lack of passion or enthusiasm. I don't know if you're seeing the same thing wherever you're watching this from, but where I live, I can go in businesses, I can go in restaurants, and I see people that are hired to say they're doing something they want to do, but they lack no enthusiasm. They have no enthusiasm. They have no passion. They have no energy. Isn't it the worst thing, man, to walk in a place and see a person that they're there to help you, they're there to serve you, but yet they have no energy for it. They act like they hate their job. They can't smile. They have no enthusiasm. Write this word down, man. Enthusiasm is an intense and eager enjoyment. I'm going to say that again. An intense and eager enjoyment. It means a spark that moves you forward. Now, when we develop a passion for what we're doing, it becomes unwavering regardless of what comes against us. So if you and I can understand the power of enthusiasm, the power of having energy, I ain't saying every day you're going to get up hyper, man, you're going to be bouncing off the walls, all that. I'm saying, but it's going to reflect in your actions. It's going to reflect in what you do. It's going to reflect in your energy of what you're doing. It's going to set you apart, I promise you, when you have enthusiasm. People, I write this down also, I'm giving you some points to write down, I'm telling you, people are attracted to enthusiasm. Enthusiasm attracts. Isn't that good? That means you're taking on this business, you're taking on these challenges in life. Promise you, it's your passion, it's your ability to persevere, it's your ability to say, you know what, I'm passionate about what I'm doing. You know, again, I just keep referring back to my journey because everybody's on this journey, right, called life. Go back to my journey, is I discovered through 37 years of been doing what I've been doing, I've discovered that your enthusiasm for what you do attracts people. Now, there are days we'll have down days, days we don't feel like it, days you don't feel like getting up. But I promise you, what's inside you will continue to push you and move you to your goal. It'll move you. In the early days when I was in ministry, I was working jobs. I was finding jobs that really were flexible for my schedule. I could do my own schedule, but at the same time, keep doing ministry. But here's the thing about that. I was in sales. So sales was based on commission, right? Some of you might be in sales, you understand this. So I was in sales, and here's the thing. I found out through the many sales jobs I had, if I really didn't believe in what I was selling, I really wasn't making those sales. If I didn't believe in what I was doing, what I was promoting, it really wasn't a conviction, really a part of what I wanted to do, then I wasn't having much success. But I found out when I really believed in it, when I really believed in what I was doing, what I was promoting, because I was experiencing the benefit from it, I found out I was more successful. People were attracted to that. People wanted to talk to me about it, and I became successful in that. So I want to encourage you, man, you got to believe in yourself. Matter of fact, if you don't believe in what you're doing, who will? If you don't believe in what you're doing, who's going to believe in you, man? You got to start with you, set that standard. You got to get that enthusiasm. You got to have some passion, some perseverance. All these things are going to help you succeed and overcome. And you got to believe in you and believe in what you're doing. Now, I know you've probably seen this video on YouTube, whatever, but Simon Sinek Go and watch that about the power of why. That's the thing I really want to stop to say to you today is, why are you doing what you're doing? Or why are you trying to do? Why are you trying to start that business? Do you really know the why behind it? Because if you don't know the why behind it, it ain't just the how that's going to make you successful. It's got to be the why you do it. So why you do it is your passion. Why you do it keeps you going when times get tough. And then you teach people the how of doing it. Whenever you bring people on your company, bring people onto your team, you got to teach them the why, man. You got to teach them why you're doing what you're doing, why they need to show up early, why they need to stay late at times, why they need to be trained, and then here's how. That's going to keep you going. It's going to keep you motivated. It's going to keep your team growing. It's going to keep you overcoming, knowing your why. Ask yourself the question today, why am I doing what I'm doing, all right? Next thing I want you to write down is this: always be a learner. Always be a learner. I don't care how old you are. It doesn't matter your background. We have such technology today, right? You can pick up your phone. You can learn anything in just a moment of typing it in, and you can start educating yourself on any topic, any point of interest. So always be a learner. John Maxwell said this: when you stop growing, you stop. So I found out as I get older, here's the most difficult thing. Let me say this: as I get older, it is more difficult to unlearn what I've learned. I hope that makes sense to you. Don't let that kind of sink in. It really is difficult, isn't it, to unlearn what you've already learned, because we have learned some things on this journey. We have learned some things in life, but as things change, as things keep shifting in this world, man, especially when it comes to technology, comes to the economy of our world, then we have to unlearn some things we learned years ago that are not relevant today. If you don't unlearn some things you've learned, you're going to get stuck. You're going to get stuck in the past. It's going to paralyze you, and your growth is going to stunt. You don't want to stunt your growth in the area you're doing right now, because then you can't stay relevant. You can't stay in pace with everybody else, all right? There's some things, write down 3 things I found out about having to unlearn what I've learned. There's times in life you're going to have to pivot. You're going to have to make a change. You're going one direction, like in basketball. You got to stop. You got to make another move and go another direction. That's what learning in life will help you. It'll help you to stop and pivot. Next thing is you got to regroup sometimes. There's sometimes where it's not working. And let me just say this: it's not a failure to admit, hey man, this just didn't work. You admit it, man. There's things not going to work. Regroup. Find out what didn't work. Quit doing it, learn what can work, do some new things. And here's the thing that I'm in this season of life right now, is you got to constantly reinvent yourself. There's things that you can do for a long time. There's things you can do for, amount of a season. But then life changes, right? Different things in life go on. You've got to reinvent yourself to stay relevant to people, stay relevant to your dream and what you have to give to people. Always be a learner. Now, leaders are readers and readers are leaders. I've learned that, man. Learners always set the standard. Learners will begin to lead. So I encourage you today, always read. When you're reading, if you don't like to read, I know a lot of people say, man, I just don't even like to read. What's called audiobooks. You're in your car all the time. Be listening to something. Be reading all the time. It's going to help you keep expanding. Your capacity will grow. I know a lot of times we feel like, man, I'm at a place where I can't grow any further. I'm at a place where I don't feel like I can do any more. Well, here's a phrase that I want you to write down, because this is powerful. If you fight for your limitations, you will get to keep them. I'm going to say that again. If you fight for your limitations, you will get to keep them. What that really means is, if you're going to say, well, I'm limited, I don't have the resources, I don't have the education, then you keep telling yourself that, then you're going to stay there. You get to keep that. But with who you are, everything I've said so far to you of your grit, your passion, your perseverance, understanding how to set the standard in your life, understanding that you're a learner, always growing. What does that say? That's saying I'm unlimited. Now I know there's things we can't do. I can't go to the NBA and start playing professional basketball and slam dunk a basketball. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there's no limitation to our ability and to our capacity to keep learning new things that's going to help us keep growing and be successful in life, all right? So don't fight for limitations. Fight to be unlimited. Fight to know that you got greater in you, that you've not reached the place where you have to stop, reach the place where you're at the end, reach the place that there's no more in you. I promise you, there's more in you. You got greater capacity than you're seeing right now. So you got to unlearn some things today that you've been taught, grow in new things, understand the principle of that is powerful. And here's the next thing. I want to encourage you that your story is not over. That's right, your story is not over. I don't care where you are right now, what you're facing right now, because I know you're watching this, you're a part of this conference, and I know everybody has issues they're having to work through. Everybody's facing difficulties. Everybody's facing challenges. Everybody's facing situations that are hard to navigate. But I promise you, it's like a movie. I love movies. I don't know if you go to the movies. I love movies. And one thing I found out about movies is you can't stop in just one scene but say, well, that's the movie. That's just a part of the movie. You got to watch the whole movie. It's the same way in life. The analogy I'll give you is that where you are now, it's just a scene, man. It's not the whole story yet. You got so much into your story yet to write, yet to live. So just get through. Again, it might be a difficult scene in your life, but you will get through it, right? Sun will come up tomorrow, man. I promise you that. And so once you do that, you realize, wait a minute, there's a bigger picture to this. Remember what I said? When you're in the fight, you can't see the whole picture. When you're in the fight, you can't see the whole picture, man. You feel like this is always going to be like this. It's not. So to overcome, that means you got to navigate. You got to overcome the difficulty. Gain control of things in your life, man, that's trying to defeat you, and you'll be a success in what you're trying to do. So whatever you put your hand to, the Bible says this. Let me just encourage you what the Bible says on this. Whatever you put your hand to, do it with all your might. Do it with all your energy. Man, take on that challenge today. Do it with all the passion you have, all the perseverance you got. Don't quit on the way. Keep going. And I promise you, you're going to overcome. You're going to be a great success in your life. You're going to see some great results, all right? Hey, thank you for allowing me to be with you today, to talk to you. Just want to encourage you. I have this 31-day devotion. It's called Endurance for the Journey, and you can get it. Just hit the link right below. It'll take you right to Amazon, all right? Have a great day.
Welcome to the Overcomer Success Summit. Here's what's happening at Joy Morgan Motivates. Are you tired of keeping your story hidden, knowing deep down it has the power to inspire and change lives? It's time to unleash the brilliance within you with Write It, Tell It, Sell It, the definitive guide to transforming your narrative into a profitable venture. Authored by the esteemed Dr. Joy Morgan, this book is more than just a collection of pages. It's your ticket to success in the world of storytelling and entrepreneurship. But wait, there's more. Elevate your journey by joining us for the Write It, Tell It, Sell It Intensive, an immersive event designed to propel you toward your goals. With VIP access, you'll unlock a treasure trove of exclusive benefits, including access to the intensive replays from the Overcomer Success Summit, the I Want to Write a Book Now What Masterclass, and Dr. Joy Morgan's Cash Method 6-Figure Success Worksheet. And mark your calendars for the Start That Book Day Retreat and Workshop for Aspiring Authors on June 1st from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Join us for a day filled with transformative experiences, on-site training and coaching, delectable lunch, accountability sessions to keep you on track, and the opportunity to craft your book outline. You'll walk away with 1,000 words written and the confidence to continue your journey with purpose. Now is your time to shine and make your mark on the world. Don't let fear hold you back. Seize this opportunity to turn your dreams into reality. Visit Joy Morgan Motivates today for more information. Visit joymorganmotivates.com today for more information and take the first step toward unlocking your full potential. Write it, tell it, sell it. Your story, your success begins now. Thank you for tuning in today at the Overcomer Success Summit. Welcome to the Overcomer Success Summit. Here's what's happening at Joy Morgan Motivates. Are you tired of keeping your story hidden, knowing deep down it has the power to inspire and change lives? It's time to unleash the brilliance within you with Write It, Tell It, Sell It, the definitive guide to transforming your narrative into a profitable venture. Authored by the esteemed Dr. Joy Morgan, this book is more than just a collection of pages. It's your ticket to success in the world of storytelling and entrepreneurship. But wait, there's more. Elevate your journey by joining us for the Write It, Tell It, Sell It Intensive, an immersive event designed to propel you toward your goals. With VIP access, you'll unlock a treasure trove of exclusive benefits, including access to the intensive replays from the Overcomer Success Summit, the I Want to Write a Book Now What Masterclass, and Dr. Joy Morgan's Cash Method Six-Figure Success Worksheet. And mark your calendars for the Start That Book Day Retreat and Workshop for Aspiring Authors on June 1st from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Join us for a day filled with transformative experiences, on-site training and coaching, delectable lunch, accountability sessions to keep you on track, and the opportunity to craft your book outline. You'll walk away with 1,000 words written and the confidence to continue your journey with purpose. Now is your time to shine and make your mark on the world. Don't let fear hold you back. Seize this opportunity to turn your dreams into reality. Visit Joy Morgan Motivates today for more information. Visit joymorganmotivates.com today for more information and take the first step toward unlocking your full potential. Write it, tell it, sell it. Your story, your success begins now. Thank you for tuning in today at the Overcomer Success Summit.
Hi, everybody. I am Krystal Vernee. I'm a serial entrepreneur, speaker, author, business coach, and brand strategist, and I'm super excited to be on the Overcomer Success Summit today. A huge thank you to Dr. Joy Morgan for having me and for hosting this event. I'm going to be talking to you guys today about the Brand Builder Blueprint, creating multiple income streams and why that's important. But first, I did want to tell you guys a little bit about who I am and my story and how I got to where I am today. So let's go ahead and dive in. Entrepreneurship has always been in my blood. I actually started my first business at the age of 16. I started an eBay store where I was selling vintage and designer handbags. And that went really well. My first month in business, I made $16,000. Yes, I always think about myself as being like the little sister to Jeff Bezos back in the day. But seeing as how I started this eBay store without my mom's permission, she was furious. And so she, told me I had to shut things down because I was going to college and education was extremely important because in my mom's eyes, no one was going to make money on the internet. Um, so, I come from a very long line of educators, and so college education was more important. And so I did. I went ahead and I shut down my eBay store, went to college, went to an Ivy League school, went to Cornell University. I got an engineering degree, but in the back of my mind, I knew that I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And so I got another shot when I graduated. I actually went into sales, working 100% commission. And the big promise was that I would own my own office or my own business once I built a team and then moved out from that office. So there was that opportunity for entrepreneurship. And for those of you who've never worked 100% commission, that means you do not get a paycheck every 2 weeks. But I did work really hard and I eventually became the number one sales rep in the country for a few weeks in a row. But at the same time that I was doing this, I was also dating my high school sweetheart, who, like my mother, was very traditional. And so he gave me an ultimatum. He said if I didn't get a 9 to 5, then he would not marry me. And, I come from a traditional family. And so, when I was raised, it was thought that I would, go to school, get a good job, get married, have 2.5 kids, live in a big house with a white picket fence. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So because I thought that was supposed to do, and I did what I was told, I let go of that opportunity. I got myself a 9 to 5. I became a government contractor, and I worked my way up. So I worked my way up all the way to the C-suite. But in the back of my mind, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And I really truly believe that, what's meant for you is meant for you, and no one can take what God has promised. So I got another opportunity to start a business. I actually opened a pole dancing studio. That's actually still open today, right here in Maryland, where I live in Temple Hills, Maryland. And so this time I jumped both feet in to entrepreneurship. So now I had a full-time job and I had a full-time business. I was building my business on the side. And, with any business, things don't go as planned the first few years as you're trying to build, as you're trying to generate more income. So I wasn't making nearly as much money as I wanted to make. And my now husband was less than supportive. He just told me I had a very expensive hobby, business wasn't going to work. Nobody cared about the business. Nobody cared about me. He, in fact, would team up with my mom a lot of the times, who, would tell me I need to focus on having kids, having a family, and that why was I spending all this time, spending all this money in something that wasn't profitable. But I did believe in myself, and I believe that if I could find the right strategy, that I would be successful. And so then I became obsessed with trying to find the right strategy. How could I be successful? And then one day I got an email to attend a studio owners conference. And, it kind of scared me a little bit because I had never spoken to anyone about my business, about how I was doing. But there was just something in me that knew that I had to go. And my husband, he was like, you shouldn't go to that. You're spending more money. Why spend more money on something that isn't making money? But there was something inside of me that said, you need to be in the room. So I made the provisions and I went to the conference, and I'm so glad I did. Do you guys know what I found? I found people who were just like me, trying to figure things out, people who, had kind of had some success. And then there were some really successful owners in the room, 7 figure, 8 figure owners with multiple locations. And from seeing that, I knew what was possible. And if it was possible for them, then it was most certainly possible for me. So after that point, I made it, I made effort to go back to that conference every single year. I hired coaches, I hired mentors, I invested in myself. And with just a few short years, I had a multiple 6 figure business. So I had a multiple 6 figure business, but I had a multiple 6 figure business in secret because my husband and I often fought about business. So it was a point of tension in our marriage, and we didn't talk about it really. The only time that I would talk to him about the business was if I was either going to the studio or coming back home. That was really it. We didn't talk about anything. Um, and he really didn't see my success, but a lot of other people started to see my success. His friends saw it, my friends saw it, family members saw it, and soon I started to get calls and texts and emails and inquiries about how can I help them get their business started, or start something similar to what I had, or just a whole influx of business questions starts to come. And I started to help people. I started to give them business advice, coach them on their business, set up meetings. So I was really informally coaching before I was ever a business coach. Um, and it was very heartwarming that people would think, to ask me for advice. But again, my husband and my mother, they still, didn't see it. And, when you are in a relationship or you're married, people often ask your spouse about the other spouse. So people often ask my husband how my business was doing, how things were going. And he didn't know. So he would just say, I don't know, you have to ask her. And I'll never forget, one day we were at a social gathering and someone asked him how my business was doing. And he said, I don't know. You'll have to ask her, which wasn't uncommon for, how he would respond. But this particular day, he said something that I was not prepared for. He said, I don't know. You'll have to ask her. But personally, I hope it burns down. And, I did not know what to do, what to say. I was stuck. It was all the emotions you could possibly think of were like welling up inside of me: hurt, anger, frustration, aloneness. I was so alone in that very moment. And I just knew that I had a decision to make. Either I was going to continue to live my life according to others, or I was going to walk in my purpose on purpose, be an entrepreneur, and do the things that I always dreamed of and do what I know that I'm capable of. Jim Rohn has this quote that I absolutely love. He says, whatever good things we build end up building us. And so I had to think to myself, I had built a multiple six-figure business from scratch. I had other people asking me how to do the same things. And so it was with that clarity that I moved to divorce my husband, and I started two more businesses, including my business coaching and brand strategy firm, Simply She, or Simply Slay Hard Every Day, where I teach entrepreneurs how to monetize their expertise and create multiple income streams, which is what I want to share with you all today: the importance of having multiple income streams and how to do that using my framework, the Brand Builder Blueprint. So let's get into it. All right, so what I want to talk to you all about is the Brand Builder Blueprint, how to create multiple income streams. That's me, my company, Simply She, Simply Slay Hard Every Day. And I'm passionate about helping entrepreneurs to build their brands. So I like to start everything off that I teach with a quote, and this is one of my favorite ones. If you're not willing to risk the unusual, you'll have to settle for the ordinary. And I believe that those of us who are called, and we have a purpose in this world, we are anything short of ordinary. And so that's what you have to be in order to really build your business, build a brand. So I want to talk to you guys about the Brand Builder Blueprint, my 5-part framework for creating multiple income streams. So I'm going to talk about creating multiple income streams, why you should monetize your expertise, and how the Brand Builder Blueprint can positively impact your business. So let's talk for a second about why focus on building a brand. Now, the online marketplace is crowded and competitive, and you need to find ways to make your business stand out. You need to stay at the top of your ideal client's mind. And you also need to clearly communicate often what it is that you really want to be known for. So I like to think about branding in relation to your business as if your business is the body, your brand is the soul. It is the essence of what makes your business what it is. And your business has a specific product or service that it provides. It's something that you do better or unique than anyone else, and that's going to be your zone of genius. And the people you can serve with this is going to be your target market. Now let's talk about why multiple income streams. When building a business from scratch, it's important to have a strong foundation. And the stronger your foundation, the stronger your business will be. No business today can survive on one income stream. Now, if we think about our business as legs on a stool, right? If your stool has one leg and that leg gets chopped off, what happens to your business? It will cease to exist, right? But if your business or your stool has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 legs and one gets chopped off, does the stool still stand? The answer is yes, it does. So how can you build a business with multiple income streams? By using the Brand Builder Blueprint and my 5-part framework, which is strategy, storytelling, sales, systems, and scaling. So we're going to get into that a little bit. We're going to talk about strategy first. So strategy is identifying your zone of genius, that product or service that you could produce, your target market, and then determining how you're going to get the word out about your business, aka the marketing piece of things. Your strategy involves your zone of genius. And I like to say that your zone of genius has 4 parts. That's your expertise or your knowledge. So the something that you're extremely good at, you've had training and you're certified in it, something that you're passionate about. I think you have to have both of these, expertise and passion. I think without that, the business or the idea that you have will be short-lived because um, there are going to be days where you're going to wake up and you're not going to want to do your business. But you have the expertise and knowledge to do it anyway. And then there's going to be days where you're really excited and the expertise or knowledge is kind of like it's second nature to you, right? So I think having both of those things um, kind of gives you the sustainability you need mentally as an entrepreneur to have a profitable and sustainable business. Then there's also the target market. So who can you best help with your knowledge, with your expertise? And then is the solution or the thing that you are selling monetizable? Meaning, are people willing to pay for it right now? And I think all those different elements make up your zone of genius, and that's what is infused into your brand strategy. Let's look at an example of this. So let's say you are a career coach, right? Your expertise or knowledge could be in human resources, career advancement, salary negotiation, goal setting. And let's say your passion is helping women advance in their corporate career to the C-suite. People you can target with this, middle-level managers who want to advance, and then people that are willing to pay are going to be those middle-level managers who want to learn how to get a seat in the boardroom, right? So let's think about storytelling next. So storytelling is telling your brand story, highlighting why your brand is unique and qualified to solve your target market's problem. You're going to use case studies and testimonials. You're going to talk about the transformation that you provide in order to attract people to your brand and to do business with you. Now, if we think about our example or the career coach we talked about with the strategy piece of things, maybe her story was she had a difficult time advancing in corporate. She learned the strategy to advance at multiple companies. And then she starts to help her friends and peers do the same thing. And she was also able to make some recommendations of companies that would be a good fit and how to conduct salary negotiations. All of these things make up who she is, why she started her business, and why you might want to do business with her because of her story. Next is going to be sales. And sales is a crucial part of any business, right? That's actually the definition of a business is the exchange of goods and services for currency. So without sales, you actually do not have a business. But sales involves building authentic relationships, building a brand community, having clarity and confidence in your offerings. And then there's also that systematic approach for success. If we think about our example from our previous career coach, maybe what she would want to do is develop a community of professional women who are looking to advance in their career. She wants to create resources that support their journey. And then she'll invite women that are ready to take the next step in their career advancement into her coaching program to help them get to where they want to be. That's an example of just a quasi-sales process that could be really put into place for that particular career coach. Next, systems is one of my favorite part of the framework because of my engineering background. But systems involve consistency in client experience, trackable methods to monitor revenue, technology that supports your business processes, and then processes and procedures that can be duplicated. So systems is more than just tech, okay? Systems also involve the processes and procedures that you use to run your business. An example of this from our career coach example, maybe you're going to invite potential clients into your community so that they can join your email list. Your system will then keep track of their names, their emails, addresses, and interactions they have with your brand. And then over time, your system will facilitate particular touch points in that potential client's journey with your business, whether that is an actual human interaction or it's a system interaction. Next, let's talk about scaling. So scaling involves optimizing or automating tasks to optimize your time, upgrading your client experience, increasing your revenue and operational capacity, and initiating more streams of income. So if we look at our previous example, automating emails at different milestones in your community would be an example of scaling a process rather than sending them out manually. Also having access to self-paced courses and resources would also be another way to scale, right? Instead of having to always deliver in person. And then being able to offer more spots in your coaching program or courses at different levels would also involve scaling because it's an increase in your operational capacity. Maybe you can only take 12 clients. Now you can take 30 clients. So that's an example of scaling. And we only want to scale systems that work. So we don't want to scale broken systems. If something isn't working at a smaller level or a micro level, it's not going to work at a macro level. So just being aware of what's working in your business and doing more of that to get to where you want to be. So we've talked about the 5-part framework of the Brand Builder Blueprint, which is strategy, storytelling, sales, systems, and scaling. And everything that I've gone over today is possible for you, right? I know that sometimes we get discouraged in business and we think, oh, I've already tried that, it won't work. But everything that I've shared today is definitely possible, especially within the guise of the framework. But there are a few things you got to stop doing first. So I often tell my clients, don't try to walk in someone else's footprint, AKA just copy what folks are doing. So copying who you see in your industry, copying influencers. Stop doing the things that aren't working, hoping one day that will change. Stop trying to be the Jack or Jill of all trades. Also, release the fear of leaving money on the table. So don't do services or like random requests you get just because you got the request if it doesn't fit within your offer suite. And then stop showing up in lack so that you can receive abundance. So are you ready for your next level? It really all starts with the decision for you to build your brand. So the Brand Builder Blueprint, we basically help you build your brand. We help coaches, consultants, speakers, and authors, online service providers be able to build a profitable and sustainable business, helping them to navigate the online space, taking the overwhelm out of building their business online. The ways that we support our clients include offer suite development. So we do your lead magnets, your paid digital products. We help you work on packaging and messaging and developing your signature program. We'll also build your sales funnel, do the email copy, email social media copy, and then we focus strongly on automated sales from low ticket to high ticket. So we want you to do what is in your zone of genius, right? But we also want you to get some automated sales. So focusing both on passive as well as active income there. So if you're interested in learning more about me and the program, how you can work with me, I encourage you to visit slayhardeveryday.co and apply for the Brand Builder Blueprint and or book a call with me and we can have a chat. Thank you so much for your time. You can follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook at iSimplyShe, Instagram at I_simply_she, and LinkedIn at Krystal Vernee. Thank you so much.
So I am so excited to be a part of the Overcomers Success Summit here with Joy. Joy, thank you so much for having me. My name is Starr Codd, and I really want to share with you guys my journey through entrepreneurship, overcoming all of the challenges that I've had to endure to actually hit success in my businesses. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to introduce myself to you, and then I'm going to share my story and my journey with you. So my name is Starr Codd, and a couple of facts about me is that I am currently a member of Forbes Business Council, and that means that I've been able to hit $1 million in annual revenue. And this is something that has to be submitted and verified in order to be, admitted as a member of Forbes. So I'm super, super excited about that. In the past 5 years, I've also been able to generate $5 million in the beauty industry. I have done 6 figures on Etsy for 2 years in a row, no longer selling on Etsy. I have done 6 figures annually with my e-commerce store. I have my MBA, my master's in business administration. And one of the other achievements I have had is actually hitting 6 figures as a brand new coach in the coaching space a few years ago within 7 months. Some of the things that I currently specialize in are community building, business development, and I have also been a director in corporate America. So that's just a little bit of background about the success that I have achieved, but it didn't start that way. So let me go ahead and share my journey with you. My mom was actually an immigrant to the United States, and I grew up in South Central Los Angeles. So that means that all odds were against me. So when we talk about overcomer success, I had to overcome many, many obstacles in life. For me, I had to figure out a way to solve the problem of how I was going to succeed as a young adult and kind of get out of the ghetto and not really be struggling as I had done as a child. And for me, my way out was education. So that's the first thing that I had to overcome, right? How was I going to change the trajectory of my own life before I can even think about having kids or even providing a substantial life for them? And so for me, that was education. I decided that I was going to get a bachelor's degree. And I also later went on to get a master's degree. And so you might be thinking, okay, well, what were your thoughts around what you were going to be doing with your life? And I knew that I was either going to be in business, I was going to be an entrepreneur, or I was also interested in law. I ended up taking the entrepreneurship route. Now, this was embedded in me at a very early age. In high school, I did take business classes. They were, minor classes around business and typing. And then in high school, I went to a high school specifically focused on business for a year. So you can see that I had that in me. And then after that, I went on to take other business classes as well. So at an early age, I was like, okay, my solution is going to be that I'm going to be a businesswoman. I'm going to make money. And that's the route that I took. As I was in college, fortunately, I was able to go to college. I also decided that I was going to work part-time or full-time. And at one time I was working full-time. I was working for the county of Los Angeles. And at another time, I was actually a real estate agent. And that was my first taste of entrepreneurship because, yes, you are given a commission check and you are assigned to work for that real estate company, but you are pretty much responsible for your entire income. You only get commission based. So I got to learn about some marketing skills while I was in college doing that job. I went to the real estate office one day and I pulled up in the back. We parked in the back at that time of that particular real estate office that I was in. And I was just going about my day like, okay, I'm going to go in here and, start working. I get out of the car. Two guys walk up to me and I kind of saw them from my peripheral vision and I didn't think anything of it. And these guys open up a coat and had like a really long barrel gun. They were like, give us your car. Don't say anything. Don't scream. They carjacked me at that time. And that was severely traumatizing because I was like a very young adult. And I could have easily said, you know what? I am not doing this anymore. I literally got robbed. No, I continued on with my journey. I know that, obstacles are going to come about, and that was quite traumatic of an experience for me to go through. But I still pursued my journey at that time of selling real estate while I was in college. So that was the first thing that really happened to me that I felt was tragic in terms of trying to be on my entrepreneurship journey. But what you see there is that persistence. From a very young age, I was very persistent in what I was going to be doing, how I was going to get to where I was going to get to. And you'll also find that even when I was in high school and college, my mindset was very clear on I can have whatever it is that I want to have in life, whether it be a degree, whether it be to start a business. And again, I wasn't really sure what type of business I was going to get into. I even questioned, am I really going to be an entrepreneur? I don't know, what am I going to sell? And these are a lot of the things that, would go through my mind as I went on to college. So I continued my journey and working in corporate America. And, in corporate America, I found a solution for myself to be able to climb the career ladder by transitioning jobs every 2 years. Now, I'm not a career coach, but ultimately that helped me to hit six figures in my career. I was able to get a six-figure job by doing that, kind of moving up the corporate ladder every 2 years by switching companies. And I noticed that one company I was with gave me a raise, but they didn't want to give me a promotion. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and take this other job offer that I have because they said, okay, we'll pay you more, but we're not going to give you that title. We want you to stay with us. And I was definitely a good employee, but I was so happy that I took that next step because that job had led me to my last position, which was a six-figure job. So here I am earning six figures and I'm so excited. I'm going to be working for this company. I'm making, over $100,000 a year and I'm an African-American woman. And yes, I've made it, right? These are all the things that we want to succeed. But I found that, I wasn't quite happy. I wasn't super excited about what was happening in my life. And I would just kind of walk around in corporate America, strutting around in my designer shoes. And I felt like I was like admiring someone else's empire. And the other thing that I didn't like about corporate is that I felt very confined. So it's like always looking at the clock. okay, what time do we get off of work? I'm ready to go. And I definitely did not enjoy that feeling of like feeling stuck. So that's when I decided that I was going to start a business. So during that time, I was actually getting my master's degree in business administration. Again, like we're doing all these amazing things so that we can overcome anything that could be an obstacle. And for me, it's like, okay, my next step is like, how can I make more money? I'm going to get this degree. But I still didn't see a way to break that ceiling in corporate America. So that's when I actually had my baby, and I call him a hit baby because when I started my business, I walked away from corporate. This was a scary thing to do, right? And again, it's overcoming any type of negative things that you may have, self-doubt. So I overcame quite a bit, and we're going to get into more of my story as well and some of the other challenges that I faced and the other things that I've had to overcome. But up until this point, I had overcome living in the ghetto, basically living in poverty. I'd overcome a carjacking. I'd overcome domestic violence as well. I'd endured quite a bit at this point. So I had my baby and I just felt like, you know what, I really don't want to be clocking in. I want to see what's going on with the baby and, have my kid with me. And I decided that I was going to walk away from corporate America. Now, it's not something that I recommend that everyone do. Some of you guys may already be full-on entrepreneurs and you're just, trying to find your way, or you may already be successful. Some of you may be trying to figure out how you can leave corporate, or some of you may just be wanting to add additional streams of income into your household. And all of these things are fine and totally work. And in my case, I just felt like I wanted to be with my boy. And I also felt that income, there was a ceiling for me. So I planned before I left. So I knew for about the first year of my baby's life, okay, I'm going to be looking for something that I could sell. And I stumbled upon hair extensions, and I decided that I was going to start a hair company. And a couple things went into play for that. What was the average order value going to look like? How much could I make selling this product? I definitely didn't want to get into a business where I'm selling something for, $5, $10. I wanted to be able to sell something for a substantial amount of money. But I also wanted to sell something that was trending, that was popular at the time. So this definitely was not something that came up overnight. Remember, I wanted to be an entrepreneur for years. And actually, before that, I started a durable medical equipment company. So you can see here that my trend is I'm going to start a business. I'm going to have success in entrepreneurship. And the reason that business didn't make it, I actually had that during the time that I was working my corporate job, is that we had to get approved by local entities within a state and so forth. And it took a year for that to happen. I actually had a business partner, and we had to pay for the lease of the location. We had to pay for supplies, and we also had to pay for the employee because we could be audited at any time, and somebody legally had to be in the business for X number of hours per day. So, we were just kind of hemorrhaging money at the time. So this isn't working. But again, do you see my pattern here? Just because that didn't work does not mean that I was going to quit. So again, I'm still looking for that opportunity. And that was something that I was doing before I'd even had my son. And it just didn't work out at the time. So here we are, like trying to find this product. So I stumbled across deciding that I was going to sell these hair extensions. And I was just going to sell them. I was going to go all in. So how do we overcome adversity? How do we overcome any issues that we may be having? It's going all in. It's knowing and claiming that we are going to have the success that we desire. And so I went all in. I was like, I'm going to have a brick and mortar. I'm going to have a location that people can come to. And it made sense for me at the time in my business. And that is exactly what I did. So we had a plan before I left corporate. I talked to my husband to determine what our resources were going to look like for me leaving corporate. Is this something that we could afford to do? And fortunately for me, it was. I had some money saved up, and we had money in our household and that sort of thing. So again, you do want to look at where you're at in life and what you can and can't afford to do when making a decision in business. And we'll talk a bit about my coaching journey and why I recommend that for many people too, because I did have to spend quite a bit of money for the location. I had to spend a lot of money to have those physical products for my store as well. And I faced a lot of challenges. So let's get into that topic. So you can see that I ended up starting this hair company. I started my first location. I actually expanded and had 2 locations. And the first incident that was very significant for me was a robbery. And I was pregnant at the time with my second child during that time. And that robbery is very traumatic. I had a young lady that they had tied up and dragged the young woman across the store and things of that nature. And she was very, very, very traumatized. And for me, that was like, wow, I don't want anyone to be impacted in this way again. What can we do to prevent these things from happening? And so, we tried to put in some security measures and such. And I actually relocated the business to another location. So that was one thing that I took into place. A couple of other things that were very challenging is that the first year in business was not the most successful year. Yes, it was successful from the standpoint that many people would view, like she's selling hair, she's making money, but I hadn't hit seven figures. I had overhead, I had staff to pay, and also dealing with the challenges of managing staff and employees. And coming from corporate, I actually didn't really have employees to manage at corporate. So this was kind of new to me, but I did have experience in business. And I do feel like the experience that I have from getting my education in business as well as working in corporate really helped me out in being able to have the skill set to manage these individuals. So I did have to put a lot of systems and processes in place so that I can overcome issues with the employees. And that wasn't going to, solve everything. You're always going to have some sort of issues with your staff, with unexpected turnover. There was just a lot of things. So I put a lot of SOPs in place, hiring procedures and processes, and trying to find the right people. So at this point, I relocated to another location, and I had a young lady there that actually embezzled from me. She had embezzled from me. I put way too much trust in her. I had actually put my barriers down. And this is something you should never do when it comes to making sure my inventory is on track, on point, like to the T, looking at all my dollars. I would just put my staff in place because I had these SOPs. Okay, you do this, you do that, and I'm overviewing things. So one day I was just doing an audit and I realized like some deception happening in the numbers. I literally within an hour was just in tears. This person had embezzled tens of thousands of dollars from me to the tune of $30,000. And we did hire a private investigator. That person came out and actually got a confession, but we were not really able to convict her due to her not having priors and things like that. There's a lot of things in the legal system that are not always great for us. So that's another thing that happened. And I could have said, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore, right? But what did I do? I had to figure out a solution. So I had insurance, and actually my insurance was able to help secure some of the losses from that particular event. We continued to have another robbery as well. And at that point, I had secured the location to a way where I put systems in place to avoid that from happening. I don't want to keep going on with all the things that happened, but yeah, there were a lot. And another thing that I think is important to mention here is I had been audited by the IRS. And so what I want you to know is that when you're running a business and you're having a very successful business that's thriving and booming at this point, I'm bringing over $1 million in revenue into the business, even to the tune of 1.5 million some years. And so I was flagged by the IRS and I was like, what am I going to do? I literally was so stressed out. And I mean, it was a very simple solution. I hired someone to represent me and everything worked out where there were maybe some discrepancies from the accountant that I felt that I trusted. And this is why it's very important that you have people that you trust, but people that actually know what they're supposed to be doing in your business, because we cannot wear all the hats in our business. And I also want to talk about my ability to scale through team. And I'll get to that in a bit when I'm done sharing this story with you. So everything did work out, but I cannot tell you how many sleepless nights I had. I was just thinking I was going to owe all this money and what was going on. And, I led myself into actually becoming sick. And sometimes when we have things that we have faced in business, these challenges, we can get sick, or we might just decide that we don't want to do this anymore. Again, we have to find a solution and know within ourselves that this is what we want. Everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to work out. So that went ahead and passed and everything was just fine. And there were a couple of issues, nothing major. I mean, we're talking about small issues. Some money needed to be reallocated to different areas and expenses and that sort of thing, but it all worked out. So I had literally stressed myself out for nothing. But these are the things that happen. We get in our own head with our mindset, whether or not we are actually able to do the things that we want to do, why things are not working out. And the thing is, we have to be consistent and we have to keep forging ahead. I now want to tap into team and why I think it's very important as an entrepreneur that you rely on team for your success. If you recall at the beginning of the presentation, and I'm going to pull that slide up again for you to see, this 6 figures that I did on Etsy, I had a team. I had someone helping me pack orders. I had someone helping me upload things to the actual app, like products and listings. I don't want to spend my time doing all of that. I'd rather pay someone so that I can accelerate my growth. A lot of people get stuck that, first of all, there's 2 things they get stuck on. One is that you want to be in full control of everything. You just feel that you cannot let things go to someone else. If you don't do it, it's not going to be done right. When actually, again, we are not an expert in everything. And when you want to actually scale your business, one person cannot do that. I cannot be at 2 locations at one time. That's just physically impossible, right? So I want you to think in terms of scaling your business, how you can get to that next level. If you're feeling stuck, if you're having issues and challenges, who can you bring in? Even if it means that you're making an investment that may not be, something that you can fully afford, but this is going to help you scale up. Sometimes it's worth that risk to go ahead and have those people in place. So every business that I have had a team. Do you remember when I said I started the durable medical equipment company and we had to pay staff to be there? Someone had to physically be there. I was working a corporate job, right? So every business that I've done, I've never, ever, ever done it alone, nor have I wanted to. And this is how I've been able to scale to 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, and multiple 7 figures in the various businesses that I have owned. Okay. So I highly, highly recommend that you look at getting a team so that you can be successful in your journey. I now want to move out of the brick and mortar space and the product space to getting into the online coaching space. I want to get into something different because I was doing this for a while. And actually, I've had my hair company now for 13 years. And we get bored as entrepreneurs. And it's not that we're ungrateful or anything like that, but I'm just a very passionate person. I enjoy doing new things. And as you can see, I've done multiple businesses and I've created multiple businesses. I've had success scaling multiple businesses. I wanted to do something more online because I'm kind of tired of managing staff now. I'm kind of tired of this and that. And so I got the online space, just kind of looking around, and I heard about affiliate marketing. So I played around a little bit with that, but I still had my business full on making 7 figures a year in revenue. Then I saw coaches and I was like, what do these coaches do? Do you need some sort of certification? And I was just a little unclear. So it took a while. I had a lot of mindset around coming into the online space. Ask me why after I've done all these successful ventures. Again, I did have challenges with every single venture that I did, but I still overcame them, right? But for some reason, I had a lot of mindset issues with coming online. I finally took a course and I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. And the first thing that I did was I built a community. I built a following. I have a Facebook group with over 130,000 members now. And I didn't start with that number, but I started a community that went viral pretty quickly. And I leveraged that. And again, the same thing with Etsy. I got in at the right time where a product was specifically trending. And that's why I only did that for 2 years, because that product was a trending product. And then at some point, it was no longer popular. But I was able to find a unique positioning for myself and my business to provide something as a more of like a supplier to people. So I was selling every single day in high demand. So I want you to think about how you can get a raving community around you. And even in my hair company, I was in Southern California. My online sales reflect that. 90% of my sales come from Southern California because I took the time to build my audience and get connections locally. So again, whatever it is that you're going to be working on, how can you build an audience and people coming to you for that? And one of the ways that I overcame the challenge of getting into the online space was finally just getting a coach, someone who could help me figure out what I needed to do. And I actually didn't really get into personal development as much as many of you guys may already have until I got into the coaching space. I was so freaking tenacious from a very young adult, very persistent. I was like, I know what I want. I'm going to get what I want. I want this luxury vehicle. I'm going to get this. Pretty much I had that mentality of whatever I want, I'm going to get. That drove me so much. So in coaching, to overcome that mindset block that I was having, it was like, starting my personal development journey and really getting clear on what it is that I wanted to do, hiring a mentor and a coach to help me figure out how I was going to position myself in the online space. And then I started selling, and then things just took off very naturally for me. So I think it's very important that you figure out what it is that you're going to be selling. Some of you may already be selling things, but how big is your audience? How can you continue to grow that audience? Even doing things like this is considered leveraged marketing. I'm borrowing somebody else's audience to get in front of them. These are many of the things that I've done to grow my various businesses as well, and I highly, highly recommend them too. I do want to talk a little bit about mindset, and I'm going to make a couple of recommendations to you all. This book here, We Should All Be Millionaires. I really, really love this book. I wish this book was out, but I found that I was implementing many of the things in this book. Again, we talked about that team, right? How can you have people on board to help support you in your journey? This goes to your family members, your spouse, your children. This could be as simple as setting up things in your life, in your household. Like, listen, I'm going to be working from this time to this time. Do not disturb me. This is my time that I'm working on my business. We're going to get everybody on board. I'm the person who has to cook and clean. Hey, now I need your support. Can your kid help you with laundry? Can your spouse help you with dishes? Can your spouse help financially while you grow your business? You should not be afraid to ask for any type of assistance in your household when it comes to helping you grow your business. Do you need to hire someone to help come in and clean the house? We are all deserving of these things. We deserve to treat ourselves and to have that support system in place, even if that means that we're paying for those. Maybe we're paying for meals to be delivered to the home because you're working full time and you're working on your business. So I want you to keep these things in mind, and this is a very, very excellent book to check out. Now, I'm going to actually talk to you guys about your purpose. So you can see here, these are my two boys. I love them. Everything I do is for them. And also, this is my family. So I have many stepkids who are now all adults, and they all have kids. So I have a lot of step grandkids as well. And I want you to think about your purpose and what it is that you do, what you're doing, so that you can be consistent as well. And so this also motivates me by understanding I'm doing this for a specific reason. Number one, I know that I want other women to have financial success. I know that it's possible. I know that they do not have to depend on a job or a man to have that success. It is all within them. So that is the one thing that I'm super passionate about. The other thing that I'm super passionate about is my family, right? I want them to have the lifestyle that I did not have growing up. As you can see, my boys in private school and that sort of thing. So I'm able to give them an amazing lifestyle. So I want you to think about those things for yourself as well. And why are you doing what it is that you're doing so that you can overcome any challenges that you're facing? Remember your why. And a couple of other resources that I want to share with you guys. You are a bad A. And you're a bad A at money making. So when I talk about personal development, I'm always going to be listening to audiobooks. I prefer audio versus reading, but I listen to these things because it really helps keep my mindset in the position that it needs to be in as far as staying consistent, knowing that I can make money, right? Knowing that I am awesome. I am great. Remember, I told you I was afraid to come into the online space. I was afraid to be on camera. I was afraid to do all these things. It's all mindset, and these things really help you hone in on that. And so what I'd love for you to do is write down all the amazing things that you're great at and what makes you different and unique from anybody else out there. And trust me, we all have amazing qualities within ourselves, and we just sometimes don't tap into those. That's another thing that I wanted to share with you. And there is one more resource that I'm going to share, and then I want to talk about multiple income streams. So this book here, Atomic Habits, you can see that I even have some stickies in here. Do you notice it says tiny changes, remarkable results? An easy and proven way for you to build good habits and break bad ones. Being a business owner requires commitment. Having success requires commitment. You have to understand that there's going to be certain things that you have to do in your business. When you're not doing these things, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to have the success that you want to have. Things might fail in your business. When COVID hit, and a lot of businesses were impacted. Do you know what I did? My store was only closed for a couple of months. We were able to reopen, fortunately, only after a couple of months. I started that coaching business that I'd been thinking about starting. I'd already taken a course on that. I started building my Facebook community. I took action. I really want you to take a look at what you could be doing to continue to grow these habits within your business, within your personal life, whether that be health, fitness, and the business, because we really need you to be fully here so that you can overcome any issues that could be super traumatic, as I've mentioned to you before. I didn't even share with you guys that there were some young men who drove a car or a truck through the back of my store and put everything down. And this was before you heard about all the smash and grabs. I just felt super overwhelmed and questioned whether or not I was going to stay in this type of a business. So you have to make sure that you yourself know what it is that you want to do, that you're being consistent, that you have these habits in place so that you can stay successful. Now, throughout this story, you've heard me talk about pivoting from one niche to another, starting this business and going to another business. One thing that I highly, highly, highly believe in is having multiple streams of income. Within the hair company, I had more than one location. I later went on to put eyelash studios in those locations. I actually sold on Shopify as well with the e-commerce. I literally took that one business model and had multiple streams of income coming from that. This is very important. When COVID hit, my eyelash technicians were getting unemployment. They were getting unemployment. They did not want to return to business. That did not impact me financially whatsoever, that I did not reopen that aspect of the business. Now, people are faced with economic questions and concerns. When you have multiple recurring income coming in, some ways that you can do that are selling SaaS. I also have a SaaS business. I sell a software. I have recurring income coming in every single month. That is valued at more than a company that's profitable with revenue, because they know that in the future, there's going to be multiple payments coming in from that particular business model. I have the coaching business. So I want you to think about your business that you may have, your business that you may start, and start thinking, yes, I want you to be successful. I want you to scale the one thing, but then I want you to look at how you can expand that business and bring in other streams of income that are related to that business. Guys, I'm so happy that I was able to share my journey with you. I've overcome many, 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 many challenges. And I know many of you guys have challenges that have probably been even more difficult than my challenges may seem. Do not minimize any challenge that you have. What I want you to do is overcome them. Thank you.
Welcome to the Overcomer Success Summit. Here's what's happening at Joy Morgan Motivates. Are you tired of keeping your story hidden, knowing deep down it has the power to inspire and change lives? It's time to unleash the brilliance within you with Write It, Tell It, Sell It, the definitive guide to transforming your narrative into a profitable venture. Authored by the esteemed Dr. Joy Morgan, this book is more than just a collection of pages. It's your ticket to success in the world of storytelling and entrepreneurship. But wait, there's more. Elevate your journey by joining us for the Write It, Tell It, Sell It Intensive, an immersive event designed to propel you toward your goals. With VIP access, you'll unlock a treasure trove of exclusive benefits, including access to the intensive replays from the Overcomer Success Summit, the I Want to Write a Book Now What Masterclass, and Dr. Joy Morgan's Cash Method 6-Figure Success Worksheet. And mark your calendars for the Start That Book Day Retreat and Workshop for Aspiring Authors on June 1st from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Join us for a day filled with transformative experiences, on-site training and coaching, delectable lunch, accountability sessions to keep you on track, and the opportunity to craft your book outline. You'll walk away with 1,000 words written and the confidence to continue your journey with purpose. Now is your time to shine and make your mark on the world. Don't let fear hold you back. Seize this opportunity to turn your dreams into reality. Visit Joy Morgan Motivates today for more information. Visit joymorganmotivates.com today for more information and take the first step toward unlocking your full potential. Write it, tell it, sell it. Your story, your success begins now. Thank you for tuning in today at the Overcomer Success Summit.
Hey!
Welcome to the Overcomer Success Summit. Here's what's happening at Joy Morgan Motivates. Are you tired of keeping your story hidden, knowing deep down it has the power to inspire and change lives? It's time to unleash the brilliance within you with Write It, Tell It, Sell It, the definitive guide to transforming your narrative into a profitable venture. Authored by the esteemed Dr. Joy Morgan, this book is more than just a collection of pages. It's your ticket to success in the world of storytelling and entrepreneurship. But wait, there's more. Elevate your journey by joining us for the Write It, Tell It, Sell It Intensive, an immersive event designed to propel you toward your goals. With VIP access, you'll unlock a treasure trove of exclusive benefits, including access to the intensive replays from the Overcomer Success Summit, the I Want to Write a Book Now What Masterclass, and Dr. Joy Morgan's Cash Method 6-Figure Success Worksheet. And mark your calendars for the Start That Book Day Retreat and Workshop for Aspiring Authors on June 1st from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Join us for a day filled with transformative experiences, on-site training and coaching, delectable lunch, accountability sessions to keep you on track, and the opportunity to craft your book outline. You'll walk away with 1,000 words written and the confidence to continue your journey with purpose. Now is your time to shine and make your mark on the world. Don't let fear hold you back. Seize this opportunity to turn your dreams into reality. Visit Joy Morgan Motivates today for more information. Visit joymorganmotivates.com today for more information and take the first step toward unlocking your full potential. Write it, tell it, sell it. Your story, your success begins now. Thank you for tuning in today at the Overcomer Success Summit.
Hello there. So it is time to drop your superhero cape and admit to yourself that you are not Wonder Woman, even if you own those underoos or dressed up like her on Halloween. Now, life's storms demand not a superhero, but a resilient, badass navigator armed with an I can attitude. Because you see, life's storms do not ask for permission. And I know that you've worked hard. I know that you've built, you've learned, you've grown, and yet we all wind up still spinning. The kind that catch us off guard and the ones that remind us that we are human. Now, here's the truth. Fighting the storm should not be your goal. Shaping its duration is what the goal is all about. So imagine a world where we don't just weather storms, but we shorten their lifespan, where our preparedness and resilience say, I've got you because you've got yourself. You see, this isn't about seeking 100% certainty in life because, let's face it, that's a myth. It's about knowing deep down that you always have your own back. You see, the bigger the storm, the brighter the rainbow. And the magic that follows is the universe's nod to your strength. You see, today's challenges are merely preparation for tomorrow's victories. Now, I want you to know that it is okay to feel, to cry, to need a moment because you're human. And that means that you're capable and you have the power to influence outcomes and navigate any storm. So let this be your reminder. You are not alone. And that storms do not last forever. But you know what does? The lessons they teach us. You see, I've navigated through life's fiercest storms, from the heartache of an unexpected divorce to the dread of my mother's cancer diagnosis. And each of those experiences has been a chapter in my journey of resilience. Leaving the corporate world in 2017 was a massive leap into the unknown, followed by that unexpected divorce. And you know what was on the other side? The birth of my first 7-figure business. It was a dream realized, but not without its own set of challenges. I was navigating my mom's cancer storm alongside her. And when she finally lost her battle to ovarian cancer, I was in a storm like no other. Grief tested my limits, reshaping my perspective on life and how fleeting it can be. And I also realized that in my business, I was unhappy, I was unfulfilled, and I was completely depleted in the work that I was doing. Yes, in my 7-figure business. And I was spinning. And at the same time, anytime I stopped the spin, I got a message from the universe. And the messages kept telling me to close down my 7-figure business and to start anew. Sounds crazy, right? But let me tell you, it was in that moment and in every moment I've experienced of upheaval that my true growth and abundance was on the other side. You see, through every single one of those storms, I learned to embrace the change because who knows what's on the other side, right? So I chose to see it as a beginning, not an end. I chose to be the phoenix rising. And guess what? I actually became one as I drove through the fires in Lahaina, Maui to save my family last August. These storms, both literal and figurative, spun me around, challenged me, but most importantly, they taught me. You see, storms do not last forever, but us resilient folks do. Navigating through the tempest of entrepreneurship requires more than just a sturdy ship. It demands a captain who can find their I can voice amidst the howling winds. You see, in the storming seas of entrepreneurship, it's not the strength of the ship, but the courage of the captain that navigates the storm. So if you're somebody who wants to harness your I can intuitive voice amid this chaos of the storm, to guide your venture, not just to survive, but to thrive passionately and purposefully towards 6 and 7 figures, well, I'm going to give you the 3 steps to get you there faster. So step number 1 is to anchor in your why. Now, have you ever wondered why some people thrive in the eye of the storm while others completely falter? Now, imagine this. 2 ships, 1 mission, navigate the storm. One knows what their why is and the other, complete uncertainty. Now, here lies what I think is the untold secret of this particular summit. It's not just about being here. It's about knowing why you're here and why you're listening to me. So many of us embark on so many different adventures, chasing the horizon without a compass. We mimic paths to success of other people only to find ourselves lost at the first sign that something's not working out. In other words, your first storm. And you know what's missing? Your why. It's not just a buzzword, okay? It is your compass in your turbulent sea, that anchor that is going to distinguish your voice in so much noise in the marketplace. It's not just about doing, it's about understanding the essence of your actions, feeling a sensation inside of you that moves you, that lights you up. So, what is fueling you? What is the legacy that you want to leave? Why does any of this matter? And what ignites your passion? That is your why. Discovering your why is what is going to transform you from a ship lost at sea to a vessel steadfastly navigating towards your true north. Any business anchored in a genuine why shatters barriers. They resonate on a deep level. People feel that energy and you inspire others to achieve. So I invite you right here, right now. What is your why? Because once you uncover it, you're not merely participating, you are embarking on a journey of unparalleled success, and you are equipped to weather any storm that is going to come your way. So once you agree to do that, you're not just setting sail. You have charted your course to your 7 or even your 6-figure business success, and one that will weather any storm. So let me also share with you a second secret of how it is that you not only weather the storm, but you command it. Number 2 is embrace the power of adaptability, okay? Another image, I love metaphors. Imagine that you're sailing, okay, in this vast, unpredictable ocean of entrepreneurship, and the winds suddenly change without warning. and the waters are suddenly splashing at you and becoming 10-foot waves. And yet, amidst this chaos, there is a powerful weapon. That weapon is called adaptability. Now, this is not just a tool for survival. It is your essence of how it is that you will navigate your entrepreneurial world. The ability to pivot with confidence and trust and grace is crucial, because that is how you are going to transform obstacles into stepping stones. When the market shifts, right? We've experienced that even in just the last year. An adaptable entrepreneur dances to the new rhythm, creating a beat that sets the trend. So how do you do this, right? How do you do this confidently? Well, let me tell you, it lies in your intuition. Your intuition is your inner compass that is guiding you through that fog of uncertainty. It is whispering insights that logic alone cannot comprehend. So trusting your intuition simplifies this complex theory of what adaptability means. It is your internal radar that is continuously scanning the horizon for either an opportunity or a hazard. So let me ask you, what does your intuition sound like? Here is what it actually is, because it's probably not what you think it is. It is that quiet voice inside. It is the whisper. It is that calm assurance. It is that nudge in the right direction, but yet it feels kind of awkward. It's a force that knows the way even when you feel lost, and it may not always make sense to you. Those who listen to their intuition and embrace adaptability are the ones who are able to navigate and transform any challenge into an opportunity, uncertainty into creativity, and change into growth. So how do you do this? How do you discover your intuition? Listen, like really listen. Listen to your inner voice and listen to the universe, because it is there waiting for you. It is there to help you. It is there to help you thrive in the ever-evolving entrepreneurial world. So take a minute and celebrate your ability to tap into your intuition, which is your secret sauce to being adaptable as an entrepreneur. How is it that you amplify this intuitive voice in these challenges? Well, here's number 3. Use your compass. Now imagine, okay, that you are navigating one of the fiercest storms of your life, but you have in your hand this powerful compass that helps you turn tumultuous, treacherous waters into triumph. That compass is 2 things. It's your intuition and it's me, your mentor, your coach. You see, entrepreneurship is kind of like an odyssey. It's thrilling and it can be scary at times. And so many of us confront this challenge alone. We think we can do it ourselves. We think that is a strong thing to do. And I know that your vision may be somewhat clear, but yet with every storm, all of a sudden it brings fear and doubt. But what if I told you that the key to not just enduring, but rising above these storms lies in who it is that you bring into your tribe, who it is that you choose to help you guide yourself through the storms, right? It's not just about building a crew of believers, right? Your support team. It is really about choosing a mentor that is going to embody resilience, a guide who has weathered storms using their own compass and has emerged not just unscathed, but victorious. A mentor who doesn't just teach, but is the example of the relentless pursuit of success, what success means to her or him. And I'm standing here next to you in the eye of the storm. I've been through these storms. I share my journey. I share how I've picked myself up. I just shared with you a couple of times that I did do that throughout my life. I was spinning with every challenge that came in my way. But guess what the differential was? is I have the tools to know how to shift them into opportunities faster. So why does this matter to you? Well, because in your own entrepreneurial journey, when the waves are rising and the winds are howling, you need more than just a support team. You need a mentor who has navigated and stays in the storm, who can be your port of safety and who knows not just how to navigate, but conquer, right? To help you transform your entrepreneurial dream, that 6 or 7 figure business, into a reality. It takes a tribe anchored in trust, creativity, and support, with a mentor guiding you through. So if you're somebody who's ready to steer your ship towards success, let's do it together. Your journey to success gets to start right now. You can navigate any challenge that comes your way, because every storm eventually clears, and in its wake lies the opportunity for incredible growth and success. It is going to happen when you unleash your I can intuitive voice. It is what is going to allow your business to be that beacon of passion and purpose, guiding you to the shores of incredible success for you. So trust your ability to overcome these challenges, to turn them into stepping stones along your entrepreneurial journey by using your intuition. Now, if you're somebody who wants to get there faster, I can help you. I've got an incredible resource for free just for you. If you go to intuitively-designed.com, I am going to teach you how to access that intuitive I can voice more quickly. It is going to differentiate your I can voice from your fears. I'm going to give you practical strategies and techniques to strengthen that intuitive voice. And I'm going to help you by giving you ways in which you can navigate those moments of uncertainty and hesitation. When you align your action with your intuition and you pursue your passions with purpose, you will unleash your full potential and build that thriving 6 or 7 figure business that is going to light you up because it is aligned with your deepest desires and passions. Remember, the journey may be challenging, but with perseverance, with self-belief, and a willingness to learn and grow from a mentor, you will achieve your goals and create the business of your dreams. Thank you so much.
Well, good afternoon. How is everybody doing? I know you, if you're anything like me, you are enjoying this Overcomers Success Summit. We have heard great speakers and great teaching. You're probably hyped and amped just like I am. Listen, I'm Rodney Bennett. I'm also known as Rodney B. Speaks. I'm a coach, speaker, and best-selling author. I have a great story. I'm going to share a great story, a short story. I got a few good tips after that, and then I have an exciting, crazy, fun surprise at the end. You're really going to love that. But let's talk for a moment about baby elephants. When a circus gets a new wild baby elephant to train, this is what they do. They'll bring the baby elephant into the empty tent, and then they drive this massive 10-foot iron stake into the ground, and then they drag out this thick, heavy metal chain and shackle that small baby elephant to the stake. The baby elephant, that joker will fight and fight and fight and fight to get free, doing everything it can think of. But the chain is too heavy. It's shackled too tightly. And the stake is driven way too deep down into the ground to move. As much as he tries, the little elephant just can't break free. And eventually gives up. Now let's fast forward 10 years later. Now that baby elephant is now massive, mature, and strong. It's tied by a little thin rope, slightly more than a string. And the string is tied to a small piece of wood in the ground. Catch this. The rope is only tied snugly enough for the animal to feel it and know that it's there. Wow. This massive beast could easily just decide to move the opposite direction or just walk the other way, and it would simply break free on its own. Or it could just give the leg a little shake, and actually the rope would just slip off. Yet this huge beast doesn't even attempt to escape, because long ago when it was a baby, it decided that it couldn't. It knew it couldn't. And it's gone all these years believing that it cannot escape. Now it's a full-grown adult. It believes the lie, that it just doesn't have what it takes. That comes from How to Train an Animal, How to Train an Elephant, 99hills.com. You know, overcoming, ladies and gentlemen, this is my third launch as speaker, coach, author in 5 years. Sounds kind of crazy, right? But why? Is it procrastination? Laziness? Time management? Well, maybe just a tad. Business experience? No. It's my mind. It was my mind. I could think big, but it didn't last. My destiny was like that inner tube that life just kept sticking holes in. I would think big, shrink big, and then sink big. That is until now. At some point along the way, I began to buy in to me. But why does it take so much to change the way we think? One reason is sometimes our minds have been mastered. One of the definitions of the word master is to conquer, overcome, rule, or direct. You know, my platform was about hope, because from the young age of 10 to age 23, I wrestled with 9 strongholds, addictions, bad habits, whatever you want to call them. But I've been free for over 25 years now. Interesting. A close friend recently told me, "You're missing it." Because each one of those dark events is a volume of success. It's not just one story, it's 9. It's an anthology, a collection. So start extracting the juices from each event, package them, and give people the how-tos. I'm grateful for that friend. But now, if you will allow, let me reintroduce myself. I'm Rodney B. Speaks 3.0, Mastermind Coach. I help people master mindsets that are mastering them. Listen closely, because there are some of y'all that are on this broadcast today, and you really need to be masterminding now. You know why? Because many of you are a collection and not just a story. And people need that collection. Some people may need 1 volume or 2, but many people need the whole collection. You know, oftentimes on one of my electronic devices, I'll see this little message that comes up and it says, new upgrades available. New upgrades available. Download now. You know something? I don't know about you, but periodically across the screen of my mind and my heart, I see the same message. There's new updates available. New upgrades, new versions of you available. Download them now. But again, we ask ourselves all the time, some of us, why am I struggling with that thought? Why am I struggling to get that thought out and replace it? I know I do. In fact, I was thinking, what would it take to get a full-blown elephant to walk away from the shackles? Because they almost never do. Well, first we have to understand that what's holding that elephant, that full-grown adult elephant, is not a piece of string. It's his mind. His mind has been mastered, conquered, overcome. But listen, if a full-grown elephant could talk and walked by you at the circus and whispered in your ear, I want to be free. Can you help me? What would you say and what would you do? Well, probably if you're anything like me, you'd probably say, heck no. Security. Listen, Houston, we have a problem. We got elephants and animals over here talking, and they talking crazy. Handle this. But that elephant, that adult elephant now has some negative thought patterns. Here's 3 keys to destroying negative thought patterns. Number 1, first thing I would do if I could is I would expose the shackled elephant to some free elephants. Yeah, I would expose the shackled to the free, because it's easier to do something if you see it being done. Write this down if you got a pen or a pencil or you're taking notes in your device. Exposure gives your little dream closure. Exposure pulls the curtain on the little dream. Exposure will give your little dream closure. If you see bigger, you'll dream bigger. You know, it's difficult to consistently touch, taste, and see positive and still think negative. It's not impossible. It's just difficult. It takes hard work. And I've seen it done. It takes hard work to be around and touch and taste and see and feel positive and still think negative. But first I would expose the shackled elephant to some free elephants. Next, number 2, I would encourage the elephant or the person to explore his own strength. See, you have to know you already got it. Listen, guess which animal the lion, king of the jungle, never pursues? That's right, the African bush elephant. He's the strongest animal in the world. They can carry the weight of 130 humans. They can lift the weight of 2 SUVs laying down. They can carry a couple 100 pounds by their trunk alone. Listen, you don't get nothing else I'm saying, get this. Don't let this world, with all its circus trainers, treat you like a little shackled baby elephant. Don't be afraid to flex your muscle, which, by the way, an elephant has 40,000 of. So I would expose the shackled to the free, and then I would encourage the shackled to explore his own strength. And lastly, I would explain this to the elephant, that all trainers are not abusers. Listen, actual trainers say the one thing you never want to do is abuse elephants, which of course many of them do. They say the best thing to do is give them what they want, give them what they like. That's why you always see them giving them peanuts, and they're always feeding them, and they give them what they like. That's a tendency that abusers tend to have. Give you what you like for a moment. Elephants and people who have been mistreated for so long think everybody is the same way. They probably think if other trainers at other circuses are going to be abusive as these are, why even think about leaving? There's no hope. You know, to help someone destroy negative thought patterns, in whether they're abused animals or abused humans, I would explain to them that good people and good opportunities still exist. Good people and good, even us as human beings, man, we've been betrayed, we've been burned in relationships and businesses and all kinds of activities in our lives, man. We got to remember, good people, good opportunities do exist. So those are the three things, the three keys I would give to an elephant shackled or a human being shackled. Expose the shackled to the free. Encourage them to explore their own strength, and explain that all trainers and all people are not abusers. Good people and good opportunities do exist. Now listen, real quick. Here is the exciting, great, crazy news that I told you about that I would share before I go. You may know or you may not know that I've been counseling and mentoring for 25 years. I've also recently been certified as a life coach, and because my expertise is masterminding, the fee I get for experience and training is $100 an hour. But for the next 2 weeks, I'm giving away 5 free masterminding coaching sessions. That's right, absolutely free. Just click the link and put in the email. I'll take it, and the first 5 people will get it free. Better grab it now. Well, I'll see you in a masterminding coaching session.
Welcome to the Overcomer Success Summit. Here's what's happening at Joy Morgan Motivates. Are you tired of keeping your story hidden, knowing deep down it has the power to inspire and change lives? It's time to unleash the brilliance within you with Write It, Tell It, Sell It, the definitive guide to transforming your narrative into a profitable venture. Authored by the esteemed Dr. Joy Morgan, this book is more than just a collection of pages. It's your ticket to success in the world of storytelling and entrepreneurship. But wait, there's more. Elevate your journey by joining us for the Write It, Tell It, Sell It Intensive, an immersive event designed to propel you toward your goals. With VIP access, you'll unlock a treasure trove of exclusive benefits, including access to the intensive replays from the Overcomer Success Summit, the I Want to Write a Book Now What Masterclass, and Dr. Joy Morgan's Cash Method 6-Figure Success Worksheet. And mark your calendars for the Start That Book Day Retreat and Workshop for Aspiring Authors on June 1st from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Join us for a day filled with transformative experiences, on-site training and coaching, delectable lunch, accountability sessions to keep you on track, and the opportunity to craft your book outline. You'll walk away with 1,000 words written and the confidence to continue your journey with purpose. Now is your time to shine and make your mark on the world. Don't let fear hold you back. Seize this opportunity to turn your dreams into reality. Visit Joy Morgan Motivates today for more information. Visit joymorganmotivates.com today for more information and take the first step toward unlocking your full potential. Write it, tell it, sell it. Your story, your success begins now. Thank you for tuning in today at the Overcomer Success Summit. Welcome to the Overcomer Success Summit. Here's what's happening at Joy Morgan Motivates. Are you tired of keeping your story hidden, knowing deep down it has the power to inspire and change lives? It's time to unleash the brilliance within you with Write It, Tell It, Sell It, the definitive guide to transforming your narrative into a profitable venture. Authored by the esteemed Dr. Joy Morgan, this book is more than just a collection of pages. It's your ticket to success in the world of storytelling and entrepreneurship. But wait, there's more. Elevate your journey by joining us for the Write It, Tell It, Sell It Intensive, an immersive event designed to propel you toward your goals. With VIP access, you'll unlock a treasure trove of exclusive benefits, including access to the intensive replays from the Overcomer Success Summit, the I Want to Write a Book Now What Masterclass, and Dr. Joy Morgan's Cash Method 6-Figure Success Worksheet. And mark your calendars for the Start That Book Day Retreat and Workshop for Aspiring Authors on June 1st from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Join us for a day filled with transformative experiences, on-site training and coaching, delectable lunch, accountability sessions to keep you on track, and the opportunity to craft your book outline. You'll walk away with 1,000 words written and the confidence to continue your journey with purpose. Now is your time to shine and make your mark on the world. Don't let fear hold you back. Seize this opportunity to turn your dreams into reality. Visit Joy Morgan Motivates today for more information. Visit joymorganmotivates.com today for more information and take the first step toward unlocking your full potential. Write it, tell it, sell it. Your story, your success begins now. Thank you for tuning in today at the Overcomer Success Summit.
So excited to be here with you today to share my personal journey with you and to encourage you on how I got over over the hump, over the self-defeating mindset, over invaluable systems and ways in which defeat my progress, over it. Hashtag your friend and colleague in the chat and say, I'm over it. I'm over self-defeating behaviors. I'm over not being able to achieve and visualize my success, to defeat these obstacles in my path. Today, we're going to discuss overcoming obstacles with resilience and determination. I am Dr. Kiplee Bell, and I'm so excited to be amongst my colleagues that are sharing with you their collective journeys of overcoming. So let's get to it. What does it mean to get over? Owning your own story, being a person of conviction, optimizing your success by being transparent in your leadership, by sharing that your journey ain't always easy. This and forums like this help encourage us, help inspire us to say, hey, wow, if she did it with all of that, she can do it, I can do it. If he did that, doing this and that, woo, I can do it. But looking straight ahead, not to your right or left, but owning that journey, owning your journey, your purpose, your story, and crafting your story of life and success accordingly. Visualizing your success. In order to visualize your success, value those that support you. Value your support systems. Value looking behind you to say, wow, my history is determining my future. What I have already overcome will help me bring my success more into view. Visualizing and taking the time to own your own story, visualize your success, and over adaptability. So we've all heard it, right? We've heard that we need to be flexible, that we need to adapt to change. We need to be able to go with the flow, to move our needle of success accordingly, right? But adaptability also pertains to adjusting your own goals accordingly, that sometimes you may have to take a detour to get there. Acquiescence, surrendering. This is a biggie for me. Surrendering to the process, surrendering to the ways in which life will shape you and challenge you and mold you to be the proper leader and to develop the stretch and the skill set you need to obtain that big victory, that visualization of your success. Authority. You are an authority on your own story. You have the authority to craft your own space and time to be the change that you want to see in this world. Mahatma Gandhi. You have the authority to own your own story, visualize your success, and be adaptable to the goals that you set for yourself, thereby acquiescing, surrendering to the process so that you are then establishing your authority in your space. So what is the story behind Dr. Kiplee Bell? So I want to begin with all the things. All the titles. Who is she? She's a mother, she's a wife, she's a daughter, she's a philanthropist, she's an entrepreneur. Under that entrepreneur setting is a vocalist, a small business owner, a public speaker internationally, an audiobook narrator, on and on. And she's a doctor. She has trained decades of her life to serve the people. So she is a personal and professional caregiver. So let's examine these titles a little bit, right? I want to begin with mother. One title I have recently taken on is that of author, okay? So I wrote a book called The Work of My Mother's Hands. So my mother, Gloria Bell, is a registered nurse midwife. She's 88 years old, And she suffered as a single mom, divorced when I was 8 years old. Recently, writing the work of my mother's hands has given me this empowering wind to look at all of these titles and say, wow, this is the work of my mother's hands. My mother has overcome to allow me to continue the baton of her life forward. And if you noticed, batons are not passed from the front, they're passed from behind you. So my future was determined behind me, was overcome by the work of my mother's hand. So my mother, as a single divorced registered nurse, working night shift, 12 hours overnight, barely sleeping, getting me up in the morning, all the things that we mothers do, the work began with her. She took care of private duty. She was a private duty registered nurse, took care of homebound elderly parents. And this created the seed for me to understand how to care for the aged. Fast forward, now her daughter, I am her caregiver. She's an 88-year-old retired nurse with an additional certification as a nurse midwife who now suffers from terrible arthritis and vascular dementia, a mild form. Sometimes she repeats herself, which has posed challenges for me in the caregiving capacity. And as her daughter, trying to care for her and to be a mother to my own children and to doctor and to be the entrepreneur. So disclaimer, overcoming is daily. Sometimes it's minute by minute. We overcome by understanding the purpose in the work that is set, the work of our own hands, the desires that have been placed on our hearts for our work to do, our collective ownership of our own stories. I'm a mother myself, 2 boys, 10 and 6. Let's talk about my firstborn. My firstborn was born 2 pounds premature, 28 weeks. I was headed into work, getting my, frequent 20-ish week. I think it was like the 24-week checkup, 20-week, I believe, something like this. And they said, we need to bring you in the hospital. So make a long story short, my firstborn was supposed to be due. He was supposed to be a Christmas baby. I was brought in emergently into the hospital for my medical professionals in the audience, preeclamptic, meaning your blood pressure is out of control. He wasn't getting enough perfusion to himself, risk to both of us. Brought in the hospital in October. I held him till I couldn't hold him any longer. And we delivered November 5th. Overcoming. Take that in, my firstborn, okay? My unborn lost a child in between my firstborn and my thirdborn. 8 weeks pregnant, no heartbeat. My last, what they call the rainbow baby, is 6 years old. They told me, oh my goodness, your quant is higher than your gestational age, etc. I'm thinking I have to go to surgery. They literally tell me I have to go to surgery. I walk in with my head down. Ultrasound tech said, girl, look at that heartbeat. So I say to you, look at that heartbeat. Find your heartbeat. Find the story and fight for it. And they're birthed by my thirdborn son. Okay. 2 boys, 10 and 6, active children. Thank you, Lord. Active, healthy, vibrant. But you can imagine trying to be a mother, a caregiver, a doctor, wife life. What? Wife life, trying to be a wife and honoring a husband that is also walking the journey along with me of caregiving and parenthood. All of those, read between all of those lines, are stories of overcoming. Now, fast forward, doctoring. Okay, brief story. In college, I was in an organic chemistry lab, and we were doing an experiment with all glass beaker, glass pipette. Said professor advised the class to transfer the chemical solution into the beaker ever so gently with the pipette. My classmate was having trouble with it. So I said, I'll help you. I helped her as I was transferring the chemical into her beaker. The whole glass beaker pipette everything shattered, glass all over the place. And I want you to picture the worst scowl, the most condemning, emotionally damaging words you say to a student in front of their entire class. And there she exclaimed, "Kiplee, remind me to never work for a lab, a hospital system, an organization that you're ever a part of." Yes, sir. I'm riddled with embarrassment. My heart is defeated. And I walk across campus back to my dorm room, internalizing that I must not be cut out to be a doctor. I changed my major to sociology, and I graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in sociology and a minor in a Bachelor's of Science in biology. I then went on to grad school. Mind you, mama, who was taking care of homebound elderly patients who instilled this seed into me for the aged. So I went on to obtain my master's in gerontology, but I still had that heart for medicine. And so I became a physician assistant. I practiced as a physician assistant while going to medical school and obtaining my doctorate. The day of my white coat ceremony, the registrar calls me and they say, "We can't give you any more money." While my student friends were blowing their student loan payments on buying new cars and clothes, and I needed the money to fund my higher education. The day of my white coat ceremony, where they usher you out into the field for clinical clerkships and rotations, I'm told, "We can't give you any more money." Today, I am Dr. Kiplee Bell. After funding my own education through the work of my mother's hands, the work of my own hands, while actively caring for patients clinically, working nights, working overnight emergency department shifts, clinical rotations up and down the road, you name it. How I got over. To that said, professor, today, I have my own practice, Impactful Care. I treat clinicians and train them on how to be the doctor or the medical profession that they hope to be, that they visualize themselves to be, while caring for you in the community, all while overcoming the negative mindset, the negative stigma, the challenges, the lack of community, the lack of support. How I got over. And so now, fast forward to the entrepreneurial journey, I'm a small business owner. I'm able to have a different stage in my life, which is public and international speaking, audiobook narration, vocalizing when able. I didn't mention that the additional work of my mother's hands was taking me to auditions in the show business and entertainment arena. I enjoy vocalizing musical theater and the like. I participated in Miss America system, became Miss Philadelphia and first runner-up to Miss Pennsylvania, hence my philanthropy. The director of the Miss Philadelphia program succumbed to brain cancer. He was a colonel in the Army. So I thought, how do I overcome this tremendous mentor in my own life? Well, I developed a nonprofit foundation in his namesake and honor to what? Create scholarships for students seeking higher education so that no one can say to said student, "You don't have enough money. We can't give you enough money to continue your education." That's how you overcome. That's how you do it. So enough about me. How do we equip you to get over it? In the hashtag, put "I'm over it." I'm over it. This she got over, hashtag she got over. I'm going to get over. Optimism. Optimize your optimism. Optimize your healthy mindset to say, I can do hard things. I can visualize my journey. I can affirm my success. I can achieve. I am valuable. I value my support systems. I value the journey behind me as I look and push towards my future. I embrace the process. I am resilient. I have the courage to show up and do it. I am outlasting the negative experiences of my life so that I create an outlasting legacy well beyond my service here on earth. Yes, I have the moxie and the momentum to keep pushing towards my goal. And I continually evolve in this process. So, Ova, what are the tools I can give you? Observe your own life, reflect, look back and say, okay, what are my challenges? How do I identify my challenges and create a toolbox and a tool set to begin the work? And how can I have impact? What's the impact I can have on others as a result of my own journey? And biggie, woohoo, acknowledge the emotions in it all. Acknowledge the irritability, acknowledge the fatigue, acknowledge the overwhelm. Yes, because it comes. Acknowledge the self-doubt. Okay. Validate your experience. Celebrate the small wins. Have a resilient culture. And what gives you that resilient culture is to say, hey, you know what? I achieved that. You know what I did recently? In the first quarter of the year, I went back and I took little mini Post-it notes and said, this day got an unexpected check. Ooh, this day landed this contract. Yes, right? Every small and big win, you celebrate it. And I started putting this and cultivating my gratitude, cultivating the ways in which I am already winning. I am already victorious, because it helps you build up your resilience muscle as you continue on this journey. Seeking support, realizing that no man is an island, and saying, you know what? I can't do this alone. I need community. I need to staff my weaknesses. I need to figure out what's working, what my strengths and weaknesses are, taking my internal SWOT analysis so that I can achieve and visualize success, all while setting realistic goals. Get a plan, adapt and persist, and take action. It's time to act. It's time to stop talking about it. It's time to do and perform. It's your time. It's your time to persist and pursue. Connect with me. These are my various brands. Have a consultation to share with you some brief strategy and ways in which I can either connect or help you on your own journey to overcoming. Never, never give up.
Overcomers, listen, you made it to the end of day one, and I am so, so, so happy that you're here with me. One, because that means you truly have overcome some things, and you wouldn't be here if you didn't. But two, I get the opportunity to share with you what it means to overcome brand insecurity with authentic storytelling. Now, before I get into this, I want to let you know that one, this was not the presentation that I was going to share. Originally, I recorded something completely different, and I felt like I needed to be even more real with those of you who are going to be hanging in there at the end of the day, because you need to be encouraged that there's something inside of you that the world needs to experience. If you're listening to this right now, it's because you were created for this moment. And it's because there are people still waiting for you to boom, hit the scene. All right. And so I want to talk about overcoming brand insecurity, because at first I'm a brand strategist, right? I do graphic design, I do web design. I help people bring what's in their head and pull it out of their dreamland and into their hands when it comes to their business and their brand. And in all of that, I recognize that I am helping people authenticate in their lives. One of the things that a lot of my clients come into contact with, or one of the things that they struggle with, is really just being vulnerable enough to be themselves as they present their brand. We always want to present in a way that we think people think we should be presenting ourselves, or what we think the industry is calling for, when really there is no duplication of you. There is no duplication of you. And so you have to understand that you showing up authentically is your value being added to the marketplace. So let's get into a couple of different things. The other side of it was, after I recorded my first version or my first video for you all, I was like, oh yeah, this is the Overcomer Summit. So what does branding, what does marketing, what does design have to do with overcoming anything? And I said, oh yeah, that's right. I had to overcome some things to be as confident as I am in my brand. I had to overcome some insecurities. Even to this day, you guys, there are some things where I get an idea, I get a brainchild, and I'm like, this would be great. I might create the flyer. I might tell 2 or 3 people about it, but then there's something that gives me pause with really going hard in the paint for promotion. And so I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that brand insecurity. That's what I'm calling it, brand insecurity. When you are positioning yourself as a brand, but insecurity is keeping you from showing up the way that you could show up and that your people need you to show up. And we do that through authentic storytelling. There's something about a person that bears their soul that makes us feel more connected to them. And I want to help you use the power of that soul bearing to really connect with your clients, really connect with your audience, really connect with the people around you. One thing I know to be sure, whether you're in the corporate space, the nonprofit space, the entrepreneurial marketplace, the ministry space, whatever the case, I just rhymed, whatever the case, real people connect with real people. You're connecting with me right now. I know you are. You're tracking with me. So let's get into it. So in this workshop, we're going to talk about 7 things that will help you to overcome brand insecurity. 1, we're going to talk about the introduction to brand storytelling. What is it? Why is it important? Number 2, the power of authentic visuals. Remember, I'm a brand strategist, right? So all things brand identity, colors, images, logos, all those things matter. Number 3, overcoming imposter syndrome. With transparency. We'll get into that later. Number 4, crafting your authentic narrative. And then number 5, leveraging your story across marketing channels. Number 6, live example, brand story in action. And then number 7, closing thoughts, embracing your true brand identity. These are some of the things that we're going to cover today. So I hope that you are ready. I hope that you're going to be taking notes, because it's about to go down. All right, so let's go. Introduction to brand storytelling. What is a brand, and how does storytelling, or how do brands use storytelling to effectively reach their audience? Well, 1, the brand is the identity, the heart, the mind, the soul of your business. So it is what people think about when they think, or when they hear your business name. Your brand is the colors that come to mind. Your brand is the tone of voice that comes to mind. Your brand is the image that comes to mind. Those are the things that make up your brand, those brand elements, as we call them, right? And so when we think about what your brand is, when people think about your business, the things that come to mind, storytelling helps to ingrain those things into the minds of your people. All right. So for example, I always use the example of Coca-Cola, right? Coca-Cola, when you think Coca-Cola, first of all, you think white and red. You think bold red with that curly white font. You might think of the polar bears, right? Because of their winter ads. You have the polar bears and Santa Claus and family and a Coke and a smile. There's a story attached to it. Okay. There's a story attached to it. And so these are the things that ingrain the brand into your clients' minds. All right. So let's keep going. So when you think about what you want people to walk away with, think about what stories are connected to your brand. One of the examples that I also use is everybody, well, not everybody drinks coffee, but coffee people drink coffee. And it's a thing, right? Like drinking coffee is a thing for so many people. It's a part of their day. excuse me, it represents energy, it represents comfort, it represents routine, right? And so instead of just saying, hey, come buy my coffee, right? Perhaps there's a story attached to it. So this example story that I use is a mother who really loves her cup of coffee, and it really represents her moments, her 5 minutes of peace in the morning before the kids get up, and she has that coffee, right? And then she has a husband who was deployed, and unfortunately he lost his life overseas, and now that cup of coffee represents her trying to find a new normal. And she talks about what it looks like to reestablish her life, to reestablish life for her children. And in the midst of all of that, she remembered how that coffee brought her peace, and how she wants to now share that peace with other mamas who are experiencing loss like she is. And she started a drop shipping company, right? Now there's a story behind it. So you as a mother or as a wife or anyone connected to someone who is in the service, that story might resonate with you, right? A coffee lover who is appreciative of those who serve for this country, that story might resonate with you. A mama who just realizes that coffee might be your only 5 minutes to have a moment of peace, it resonates. Now I'm going to remember that brand because I'm connected to that story. All right. So you have stories. You're an overcomer. You have stories that will tie to the product that you're offering, the service that you're offering. You need to tell those stories. All right, let's go. 2, the power of authentic visuals. Let's keep going with our coffee example. What kind of imagery do you see? You see the mama in the kitchen grasping her cup of coffee while the steam from the cup is rising up and she's inhaling, taking that moment of peace. Visuals like that scream volumes, right? She might even have a little one tugging at her leg, but in that moment between her and that coffee cup, it's a moment of reprieve, right? You think about the packaging. What imagery is on the packaging? Maybe there's an American flag woven into a picture of her and her family, right? Maybe she's curled up on the couch with her little one snuggled up around her and she's drinking that coffee. The power of visuals, the power of authentic visuals. I appreciate stock footage and stock images, but when you can provide real people photos, when you can provide a day in the life imagery to connect with your audience, there's something about it. The season of the business world that we're in, people want to connect with people. And so your visuals need to be authentic. Your the language you use needs to be authentic. You need to be authentic. You need to show up, right? As an entrepreneur, it's one thing to be a company, right? It's one thing to be an enterprise where there are plenty of employees and all the things. But if you're a speaker, you are the brand. If you're an author, you are the brand. If you are a service-based entrepreneur and you're providing services, you are the brand. So people need to see you. People need to see you. That's why with the other presentation that I did, I wasn't as visible. And I'm like, how can I connect with people if you can't even see me? All you can do is hear my voice. So the power of authentic visuals, showing up with your face, makes a difference. 3, overcoming imposter syndrome with transparency. So I want you to think about the things that you are most embarrassed by, the things that you might feel ashamed about. And I want to draw out the point that, one, you're not the only person with that story or with that challenge or that has gone through that thing. But 2, people connect when they can say, I've gone through that too. People can connect. Whenever I walk into a room of women or anybody for that matter, and I start to talk about how I've always been challenged in feeling good enough, most of the room can identify with that, especially when you see me show up with my makeup and my blazer and all the things. It might come across hard to believe that I struggle with that, but it's the truth. I'm being transparent so that we can connect, because I'm not just coming to make money. I'm coming to connect with you and provide a solution so that you can be transformed, so that you can live your most authentic life. That's my mission, is to help draw those things out of you so that you can be transformed and live your most authentic life. That's what I do through my branding business. That's what I do through my graphics and my website work and my podcasting. That's what I do. And so in that, I have to be transparent. If I want to invite you into the space of transformation, I have to invite you with transparency, because you won't trust me to help you transform if you feel like I don't have any growth to aspire towards, or I haven't gone through anything, right? So my transparency is proof that I'm a real person. And that helps to level the playing field. Also, when you talk about imposter syndrome, talking through who you are, where you've been, what you've done, what you've overcome, it helps to kind of ease that feeling of I don't belong here. Because once you find out, when you get into the room with other folks and you start having conversations, you realize that we're really all the same. We are really all people doing the best we can with a story that we may not have written, but determined to try to write a better one moving forward. That's who we are, right? So transparency helps to free you up. You can't hold anything against me that I haven't already told myself. And so transparency helps you to get free from that imposter syndrome. All right, let's keep it rolling. Crafting your authentic narrative. What is your story? Why did you start your business? Why did you start speaking? Why do you want to start a business? Why did you write the book that you wrote? Why did you teach the class? What is your why? What is the thing? You have to be able to craft that narrative. You have to be able to craft that narrative. And so, for example, I started my business out of a necessity. I was a broke college student. I had big dreams to enter the music industry, and I could not afford music production. I could not afford music production. I could not afford graphics. I could not afford photo shoots. I couldn't afford anything. I couldn't afford a website, couldn't afford flyers, couldn't afford nothing. All I could afford to do was write the songs and sing them, right? And so I needed those things, and because I didn't have money for those things, I started to dabble in trying to figure out how to do those things. And so in that, I learned, I produced it. I learned, I produced it. People started to see my work and started to ask me to do their things. Next thing you know, I'm designing graphics for my church. Next thing you know, my pastors started businesses, and then I started doing graphics for their clients. And I just kind of flowed right into it. So my authentic narrative is, one, you don't have to be an expert to start. You don't have to be an expert to get started. Two, you have to grow and evolve into the person you want to become. And your audience, your authentic audience, will evolve and grow with you. And so it's okay to grow in the business space, right? And then the third thing is, from my authentic narrative, is now that I know who I am, I can now free other people in their businesses, in their ministry, in their mothering, in their wifing, whatever it is. I know who I am now. And so my authentic narrative is, I came out and discovered that I was enough. And so now I'm going to bring you out too, because you're enough too. Right? So you got to craft your narrative. What is it that makes you the bee's knees in your industry? What is it that makes you the one that people should work with, or the one people should listen to, or the one people should purchase their book? What makes you the one? You have to know your narrative. And it has to be authentic, but it also has to be true, right? So I challenge you to share your narrative with the people around you. I want you to share your narrative with the people around you, and allow them to help you authenticate. That's the word I want to use. Allow them to help you authenticate your narrative. All right, let's keep it going. Leveraging your story across marketing channels. Leveraging your story across marketing channels. Now, this is something that is going to take time. It's going to take time. Why? Because one, I don't encourage people to try to be on every platform at one time. You're one person, and it can be overwhelming if we're 1000% honest, because there's no other way to be. Trying to show up on every platform is work. It's work. And so what I want us to think about is overcoming the fear of falling, overcoming the fear of failing. The people are going to be on social media. They're going to be there. Your clients are going to be there, right? And so you need to allow yourself to take the time to perfect your craft. You have to be able to adapt and share your story across the different platforms, but you don't have to do that all at one time. All right. So, for example, let's say we're taking that startup story that I just shared, where I was broke. I started figuring out my way through, and it turned into a business, and I'm doing it now 8 years later, right? That's the Cliff Notes version. So if I take that story on Facebook, I might go live and talk about it. On Instagram, I might show you a picture of one of my very first graphics that I ever created for myself. On my website, I might blog about 5 things that I learned from stumbling into business, right? So it's the same story, but I am now leveraging it across different marketing channels. That is how you reach people and meet them where they are, and still being effective and staying in the space of what you can handle, what you can produce. So I have a question for you. Where do you feel your brand story can make the biggest impact? What platform? Is it more visual? Does it need a detailed narrative space like a blog or a podcast? I want you guys to let me know, where do you feel, what platform do you feel lends itself to your story and your clientele? Number 6, brand story in action. So I gave the example of Coca-Cola, right? But let's talk about Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A. I really do. So if anybody's watching this and you want to send me a gift card, feel free. But I love Chick-fil-A. And if you've ever been inside of a Chick-fil-A restaurant, there are pictures on the wall of, I think his name is Mr. Kathy, right? Him, his family, early Chick-fil-A employees, all those kinds of people. There's pictures of history, there's pictures of legacy, there's pictures of family, right? And then the atmosphere that's created, they say my pleasure instead of you're welcome. Everything is, it's just, what can I get for you? It's service driven, customer service driven. They're always pleasant, always kind. The dining room's always clean. They always give you more sauce than you need, right? Like all the things. That is an extension of Mr. Kathy's family. That's how they loved on their neighbors. That's how they loved on people in the community. And so the culture of the business, the brand of the business, carries that same energy. It carries that same vibe, that same spirit, right? So when you think about a Chick-fil-A, what does that look like in your space, in your business? What does that look like? As an overcomer, the things that you've come through, the strength that you've gained as a result, the wisdom that you've gained as a result, how does that show up as a part of your brand? Like I said, for me, it has always been, you can learn how to do this, or there's more in you than what you think, or I can see how incredible you are, and I'm going to help you see it too. Because those are the things that are a part of my story. Somebody had to show me. I remember, so I told you guys I was a broke college student, and one of my earlier startup businesses was a baking business. I did cupcakes and cookies and all kinds of treats. It was called Bites of Light by Brittnee N. And again, I needed money, and I decided to bake cookies for Christmas because I didn't have money to buy presents. People loved the cookies, and so they became a business. I'm like, well, let me try to make some money off of these cookies, right? So fast forward a little bit, I was making cupcakes. I hadn't ventured into cakes yet. And a friend of mine said, hey, can you make a cake for my daughter's 6th birthday or 5th birthday? Now, mind you, 5 is a milestone. Okay, so I was already feeling pressure, like, I don't know. And she was like, I want a cake and cupcakes. I said, well, I don't think, I only do cupcakes, bites of light, not like cakes of light, right? And so she said, no, you're going to make this cake. And I said, okay. So she put me in a position where I had to figure it out, y'all. I had to figure it out. Now, all of the doubt and all of the fear of letting her down, and I'm not equipped to do this, and all of that not good enough stuff, and all the things flooded me. And I had a choice to either work through it or allow it to paralyze me. Either way, this lady needed a cake for her daughter's 5th birthday. Barnyard theme. It was like farm animal theme. You guys, I YouTubed it. I read up on it. I bought the things. It was my first time working with fondant. I made the most beautiful farmhouse cake that I ever seen in my life. I made cute little animal faces to go on some of the cupcakes. Like, I flexed on that cake. And when she saw it, like, she was taken aback, but I think I was even more just like, I cannot believe I just did that. I can't believe I produced something so great. And so now in my brand, in my business, there is a level of, we can make it happen. We can figure it out. And that's what I bring to my clients when they say, oh, well, I was kind of thinking about this. I'm not sure how it can work. Oh, it can work because we're going to figure it out. Right. So that same spirit of we can make it happen, I fuse that with the spirit of my business and the energy that I bring. We can do this is the energy that I bring. So that is my brand story in action. The spirit of the things that I've overcome running as a thread throughout my business. All right. So here's a question for you. Which elements of the example, let's use the Chick-fil-A example, do you find most relatable for overcoming self-doubt in your branding? Which part of the Chick-fil-A story resonates with you? Or what would you say is a takeaway that you can implement in your business? I want to know in the comments. And then number 7, closing thoughts, embracing your true brand identity. I think that my approach to branding is a little untraditional or non-traditional, however you want to say it, because I did not start in a box. I created my own lane in branding. My approach to branding, I don't want to always start with, what do you have in your mind? I start with what's in your heart. What is in your heart? Who do you see when you think about your ideal client and it's a win for your business and you helped this person accomplish this task or this goal? Who is that person? What's in your heart? What makes you say, you know what, I'm going to stay up late for this. I'm going to get up early for this. You know what, I'm going to sacrifice for this. You have to think about what that looks like, because that bleeds into how you handle your people, and how you handle your people. It informs your brand. It informs the message that you share, right? And so when we talk about overcoming brand insecurity, it is going through these things, learning these things about myself that made me more secure in my brand. So of course, I look at the work of other brand experts. I look at the work of other graphic designers, and I used to not even compare. I just used to be like, oh, they're so much better than me. I'm just not there. I'm not a contender. I'm not on their level yet. But that's brand insecurity at work. If you are a 7, level 7 in your industry or in your skill set, then the 0s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6s can learn from you. So for me as a 7, I am confident that I can teach that 6 something. I can teach that 5 something. 0s, come on into my class. I can help you. Wherever you are, there are people who are not quite where you are yet that desire to be. Wherever you are, there's somebody you can teach. There's somebody you can help. There's somebody you can pull up. So for me, that helps me to overcome that brand insecurity. I've learned who I am. I've learned what I bring to the table. I've thought about what my narrative is. I thought about the things that run as a thread throughout my business and what I bring to every conversation that I have. And that's what makes me me. That's why people come back to working with me. And that's why they'll come back and work with you. That's why they'll hire you to come speak and do workshops. That's why they'll pick up your book, because only you can be you and no one else will do. boo-boo. So I want to share something with you. And again, this is a result, you guys, of the thread of you can do this that runs through my business. So I have something called the brand shoot experience, where I bring in authors, speakers, coaches, you name it, people that have giftings, that have brands on the inside of them, that have businesses on the inside of them, but are afraid to stand bold in it, stand firm in it. I work with you to establish what the look and feel of your brand is supposed to be. And then in this brand shoot experience, I bring us all into a beautiful space. I have a professional photographer, professional makeup artist, and then me and you on the other side of the camera. And I coach you through how to show up in your fullness and your authentic fullness. And it is such an incredibly transformational experience. People come in, most people are not comfortable with taking photos, and they come in and they're kind of timid. And when that makeup goes on and the music plays and we start shooting, they transform into a different person, because I'm infusing that you got this into the atmosphere and into the space. And so if you know that you want to show up differently on social media, you want to show up differently in your branding, your marketing, your advertising, you need new photos, you need new headshots, and you just want to boost to your brand confidence and you want to overcome that insecurity, I want you to join me. We have a May date, which is May 31st, and our June date is June 29th. We're in the tri-state area, but I have people that are flying out to come be a part of this. So it doesn't matter where you are, you can come and be a part of this experience. And it's going to be incredible. I love. It's one of my favorite things. So please do join me at the next one. If you want to connect with me, my information is on the side panel here, BrittneeSmithCreative.com, Brittnee N Smith on Instagram, Brittnee N Smith on LinkedIn. You can find me in all the places. Feel free to reach out to me. Email me, info@BrittneeSmith.com. I want to have a conversation with you, and I want to help you overcome brand insecurity, because the world is waiting for you. Thank you so much, and keep overcoming. Welcome to the Overcomer Success Summit. Here's what's happening at Joy Morgan Motivates. Are you tired of keeping your story hidden, knowing deep down it has the power to inspire and change lives? It's time to unleash the brilliance within you with Write It, Tell It, Sell It, the definitive guide to transforming your narrative into a profitable venture. Authored by the esteemed Dr. Joy Morgan, this book is more than just a collection of pages. It's your ticket to success in the world of storytelling and entrepreneurship. But wait, there's more. Elevate your journey by joining us for the Write It, Tell It, Sell It Intensive, an immersive event designed to propel you toward your goals. With VIP access, you'll unlock a treasure trove of exclusive benefits, including access to the intensive replays from the Overcomer Success Summit, the I Want to Write a Book Now What Masterclass, and Dr. Joy Morgan's Cash Method 6-Figure Success Worksheet. And mark your calendars for the Start That Book Day Retreat and Workshop for Aspiring Authors on June 1st from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Join us for a day filled with transformative experiences, on-site training and coaching, delectable lunch, accountability sessions to keep you on track, and the opportunity to craft your book outline. You'll walk away with 1,000 words written and the confidence to continue your journey with purpose. Now is your time to shine and make your mark on the world. Don't let fear hold you back. Seize this opportunity to turn your dreams into reality. Visit Joy Morgan Motivates today for more information. Visit joymorganmotivates.com today for more information and take the first step toward unlocking your full potential. Write it, tell it, sell it. Your story, your success begins now. Thank you for tuning in today at the Overcomer Success Summit.